and welcome back to Trails into Reverie. So for this episode, we're doing Daydreams / minigames. It might be just Daydreams, and episode might make. It depends on how long things are. I heard that some of the Daydreams are really long.
Rendering browsing
so I'm gonna do the ones that I have. There's more to unlock because I think there's also things in the post game. So there will be stuff after the finale too. If you're interested in that, I will still upload those things that I don't have. So we're gonna start. I'm just gonna go in order. So Berry Trails, Bean Trails, Blaze Trails. It looks in the bottom left of Rixia and Swin Nadia. I'm super interested in these and what they are. I have no idea anything about the Dreams minigames. I haven't touched a single one without you guys. Oh, besides, like, I did Pom Pom Party, but y'all have seen Pom Pom Party, and I suffered for that, which I did beat everyone, by the way.
We're finally here!
Took us long enough, huh?
Finally catch your breath. Sorry, don't when our cruiser is cut up without the Calvarian border. It's not like it falls all the way to Crossbow. Can't stand the thorns. I don't know when to give up. Do you know any more or less than you hit any of the swords? Hate everyone except you. Figures. And let's in the city. Time for some old-fashioned sightseeing. Although that's not why we're here. I still don't really know Swin. I haven't put it together because I'm stupid, okay? I'm sorry. Don't spoil it for me. Unless I completely miss it. There's a Star Princess to the ball this morning. Oh, hi Grace. What brings you here? No performance today. So you can't actually be here right now. Contrary, my friend. I'm only here because there's no performance. What? Seems like you'd already come in, Grace. Hello there, sir. Thanks again for this. Really? Hey, good now. Your name is Ilya? Rixia, yeah? Nope, not quite. Crossbow Time is putting together a huge feature I can see as a whole. So we call it the Miraculous Return of Mercantile, a true resistance built in blood, sweat, and tears. Nice, right? And you call yourself an under with that title? I was joking. Well, at least the title. Not about the future. There's the truth beginning together soon. Best luck with today's interviews. Much obliged. Fun running performance like that crazy, and that starts here. First up, the troop's new rising star. Hope you're ready for a barrage of cues, Soli. What? No, I'm not good at answering stuff. I'm sure good at asking. Gotta do more interviews this time, though, so I'm not used to someone like me. I mean, I get that I will, but still. Come on, let's start these. Show me how to practice your moves. Gonna squeeze some real good photos out of you. Hey, stop pushing me. Jeez. This might be like all story, so we might just be sitting through a lot of stories together. Okay, we're starting everything we need. Sure, it's easy to not shop in the big city. Also, by the latest issue of the Crossbow Times. Real. Oh. They got 39 here too. Huh, guess they do. Look at that! It's an edition and everything. How well does it sell anyways? Oh, the leading ladies are really cutie patooties. I bet it sells boatloads. Got a lot of nerve. Wait. Is 3 and 9 based on Swin Nadia? Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't read a book in a long time. I'm gonna be so fucking real. Usually, I did read them for a long time and I stopped. So I guess I'm gonna have to go read that now. Yeah, so handsome and cool. Begging you to stop. That's a good book. The young assassin's beautiful partner portraying an evil organization fleeing for their lives. Some clothes store like that would appeal to anyone. Poor Prano is together as overseer doggedly pursues them. You're still going? Not to overcome many tribulations, they view the journey and gain true freedom. And they fall in love, grow up, have cute little babies, live happily ever after. Now you're just making things up. Nothing's messed up though, right? There's this real bored people organization ready to publish a whole book about us. I don't know if I think maybe last game I collected all of 3 and 9. Anyways, well, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to convert wanted posters so that agents know what we look like. Convert my butt. That's a bestseller. Remember this book when it comes to people in our tail? I don't care about that, like I do, but not the way you do. It's like big super major complaint.
Where are my royalties?
Yeah. Nadia would say that. Okay, guess we're reading 3 and 9 after this. And when I say this, I mean I'm going to sit here and we're going to read it together. Okay, we're gonna go. Now we can go to have some fun. I'll leave like we planned. I told you, we're not on vacation. We're on a job. Job shmup. If you didn't take a laugh at some point, you're gonna work yourself to death. Take loads out for the both of us. Come on, what's gonna be in Crossbow, huh? No, what's supposed to have we chill for half a day? Fine. Cavalry just one pile after another. Try to get some R&R while we can. Yippee! Keep in mind, P.1. You should wonder it's pretty famous. Feeling so I didn't want to go, but something else on my list. I think I see Arkansas. Oh yeah, I think it break across the whole continent, huh? I haven't done anything about him having a show today. But they're doing some rehearsals though. Don't tell me. Time to get our sneak on. This is how Rixia ran into them. Sully's so pretty.
Yeah.
They're all pretty. And they're like, I love their uniforms.
Oh, that ought to work. No, it still needs work if I want to compete with Elia and Rixia.
What a show! Shall the Star Princess are even doing rehearsal? Cut it out. No cutting nothing, it's interview time. Do we really have to? You really have to. She's gonna be a special feature. Something to about it, okay? Just there comes mine. Count on me to make it sound good. Okay then. Man. If he says something on iffy, no worries. Can just prove out existence. So go, speak your truth. That makes you even more nervous. Swin and Nadia are hiding. Invitation complete. Let's live for this. Did you have to take your room this far? Huh, do we set it down there? We waste our users because now ourselves the best seat in the house. Highly doubt it's an assassin's training handbook. Look, someone's on stage. Elia. Elia! There you are! Alright, she's perfect dancer. Elia Frontier. Can you get to feast eyes on a big tennis club in person? Looking good, Soli. You're watching. You've been 2 years removed from near fatal injuries, but the fervent dancer has risen again. Miracle among miracles. Might as well start calling the Phoenix Dancer now. Hey, to make a title for an article. I like it. Maybe gives her from next show, because I fully intend to give one hell of a performance. Like the Phoenix, she'll rest in the ashes in a blaze of glory. I expect to I expect to keep up, so you can be right there with me, Sully. Sure. Oh boy, Arkansas' future is looking very bright indeed. You better believe it. Try not to let the audience expectations, but to exceed them. Now then, since you're here, we waste time to put on the show. You up for it? Am I? Figures are each just snap photos to the raw. I bet Elia just has a feeling that someone's watching, but she just doesn't give a fuck. Oh, that's it. That's the good stuff. How hard she goes just for herself. She's just a shoe star as Airborne is Azure Diva. Sucks Sunny though, it's been active the past couple of years. Now let's have that make a movie star. Now that lady's really hitting it big. Oh, which is so funny. I actually got Vita in the Reverie corridor. So, I figure a film started playing outside of Calvard. Yeah, oh, did you see that? Look how intense this rehearsal is. Come on out, Rixia. She's here too? Ooh, what a treat! So I just can't stop snapping. Oh. So that's Arkansas' a poster girl. The Moon Princess, Rixia Mao. Guess the rumor was true. She exists on a physical control for someone who's just a dancer. Legendary Xing Shao Yin. I thought you'd be running into someone like her here. Philippe's charm is built on how she reads and feeds the audience with painstakingly practiced technique. Rixia Mao is built on how incredible her flow is as a complete natural. Every minute movement in her body is polished to the nth degree. You have to be born with skills like hers. It's no wonder people are drawn to such innate beauty. What am I handling her for? Not there's any point here. That's all your field anyway, Nadia.
Yin. Assassin. Pursuer.
Nadia?
Article 7. Passage 3. All threats must be eliminated.
Nadia!
Good luck. Murderous intent. I love that. Murderous intent. What the fuck? Sorry, guys. What's up, Rixia? Oh, it's nothing. She knows. So, can you just turn on a switch on them? Look, I didn't read 3 and 9, bro. This last of the monarch's regalia out of our hands. She'll be long before the church takes into custody. She's not all over the place. I can't see anyone reselling using for evil anytime soon. She tested was good as severed. I'm sorry about earlier. That could have gone a lot worse if you hadn't stopped me. Seeing you and Sugar members of the factory? Yeah. I think you're right. I've been too relaxed. So go ahead and run, but if I keep acting dumb, you've been in a position where I ran for nothing. It's not true at all. I think it just isn't who you are. I don't know, throw me off again if you were. But it's gonna be fine. Won't let anything hurt you. Oh, S. Okay, you gotta be convinced. Gotta be me. That means dumbing all work I need to get my sleep on. At least use some of it. So, I've already the Moon Temple? Sure, let's hope we made it easy to find. Yeah, let's get going. She's not gonna hurt. Bro, let it go. Come on, Rixia.
Rixia Mao.
You must be our intruders. I really did give our position away. I'm so sorry, yes.
Forget that. Stay focused on her.
She's in the same line of work. Time's the breaks. There's only one this can end. Whoa! Rixia, why did Rixia go so angry? She was someone group with a grudge against the Edmonton assassin eventually. Her assassin is behind her. That's it too, but she's ready for a fight. That's how it has to be. I'm gonna go hard. I need to. Okay, shit.
On it.
Man, I really should get back on reading those books. Got you. Oh, skill. I'm not gonna now. Where would you go? Where's gonna go for us? I know she's learning Xing Shao. I see that's reason to be gentle with you, so. Do this the hard way. Did you think this easy way before? This is bad. Can't even compare. Draw attention on it. So her eyes are on me, you run. Try again. Remember, can't ever leave me through thick and thin. Besides, you could win if you're alone, but we're a package deal. Yeah, you're right. Not idea. Never lose to anyone. There's no predicting the whole wide world.
I don't know what your reasons for this are, but I won't let you have your way.
That goes double for you. So,
Please.
you don't want to die. Leave us alone.
Wait a sec. Huh? What? You kidding me? That your assassin sent to kill me or one of the other troop members. No, it's you who's trying to kill us. Suddenly I feel really tired. I'm so sorry. I completely misunderstood your intentions. Can't believe yourself. When seconds out there, now this would have happened. I've never given you a chance to explain as you were attacking. I'm so ashamed. Huh. Nothing like how I pictured. Good I mean, don't you? Yeah. How'd you more cutthroat? Right? She's so nice. I'll admit I'm more like that when I'm on the job. Most of the time, yeah, this is me. I think all that dumb tension before made me hungry. Can you get something to eat, us? It is around lunchtime now. Should we turn back to the city then? In that case, why not go together? It's my treat as a way of apology. Yay, free food! Oh, don't spoil it on someone else's, Mira. Follow me then. I've got a great place in mind. The Long Lang? Long Lao. Fuck! Rixia and my son not in Long Lao where they enjoyed a meal together before retiring to one of the rooms for a rest. It's really not similar past. It took long before they opened up to Rixia and she to them. Aw. How cute. So after seeing an organization, you set off on a journey together, huh? It's kind of romantic. Sure is? Glad you get it. If you can constantly be on the road is romantic, then yeah, definitely. Either way, there's something that's behind us. We're not gonna let anyone tell us how to live anymore. So that's exactly what we want to do, or we want to do it. But we turn over a new leaf for sure. No more killing. That's one thing we won't budge on. What about you? Well, it's been in the industry for the last few years since your contract with Heiwei ended, right? Well, no, but that was mostly because things were too chaotic across the world to ever think about taking on work. That said, I'm going to need to decide what to do eventually. Can't put the decision off forever. Do you want to return to being Yin again, then? I wouldn't say that. Whole new identity now is part of Arkansas, and that's all thanks to someone really special to me. Couldn't bear to lose that. I don't want you to lose either. Got such a natural talent dancing. It'd be waste not to let people see it. Oh, thank you for saying that, even if it does make me blush. So St. Arkansas, so maybe you're calling it quits on the whole assassin thing instead? It's not that simple. Like you two, I wasn't forced in that life. I inherited the job from my father. Never took any issue with it. I mean, inheriting is like kind of forced. Hello! Hello, Goody! Hello, Goody! Hello, Goody! I'm sorry. You're crazy, Goody. I just did what I had to without even considering the morality of it, even when I was taking lives. Of course, now I show what I was doing wrong. Those who take the lives of others need to carry that burden forever. This is the reason why the Yin name has been passed down the generations so long, to keep that weight alive. Hi. With that thought in mind, I just can't bring myself to abandon it. Even though I decided what I wanted to find my own way of being Yin, I feel like I'm getting further from an answer. What's the problem with that? What do you mean? No direction you move in it, even if you don't know the exact route to take. Just keep going. No one says you have to stop being the Moon Princess or Yin. But if I return to the criminal underworld with such little resolve... Who says you need to go back there? Give me Yin just as you are. I can't? This world isn't built on being fair. Think of evil people exploiting loopholes in the law and being protected by the same rules that should bring them to justice. Situations like those, just alone is powerless. It's always going to have its limitations. There's someone outside the law like Yin comes into play. You're one of the good guys, playing by the bad guys' rules. Kinda cool, no? There really are such things as heroes who refuse to stray from the light. Need someone like you to back them up. Someone who can do what they can't. Not that anyone who fits that description. What, we say something funny? I feel like you let me see something I was missing all this time. Maybe there's something that only I can do after all. I'd help them that only I'm capable of. Never thought of having a conversation like this with two people I only just met today. So here, after the misunderstanding earlier, probably wouldn't be here now. It's a funny thing sometimes. Yeah, I think we're all surprisingly alike. That's just a great meal we got out of this. Today's our lucky day. I deserve to meet the two of you, too. Aww. Huh, about time I got going. Got places to go, but sure I should have talked some more. She could have too. It's fascinating how we took different trails in life, even with how similar our paths are. That, and it makes it a little sad to think we never walk the same trail again. It might happen. Who knows? Maybe it won't. That's funny that way.
Well, I'll make it happen, RX, because I want to see you perform.
We'll make sure to go through the front door next time.
And I'll make sure to give you a show worthy of the detour.
Aww. Yeah, what's a tough question? She won't dog a report if there ever was one. Still, quality stuff? I'm sure the future will work wonders for our PR.
Oh?
Oh, is this how she turned into the dancer?
Another present from a fan?
Oh, rip.
What is this?
That makes sense. She put it on. Damn, I probably should have gotten this before. Oh, it's cool. I can put Rixia in her performance attire. Why this direction? Wait, I want to see that. Oh, also, there's this skin. I don't know if I ever showed it for her. That looks so good. I love this skin. It's so pretty on her. I just got it as part of like whatever I was playing. Oh yeah, I got these too. I don't know where this came from, but it's cute. Oh, that's so cool. I love that you can like, there's all these costumes you can have for them now. Okay, let me go, I want to go read 3 and 9. I don't think I have all the books though. Okay, I am going to read 3 and 9, and I'm going to read it with you guys, but I'm going to do it at the end of the episode. That way you guys can like click out of it if you're not interested in listening to me read it. So we're going to wait to do that.
Reminiscence activated.
So let's continue the next one. I don't know how important it will be for all of them, but I probably should have read that beforehand. Like, I do recommend, like, if you should probably read the books you get before you move on to the next game, because, like, that's kind of how I knew stuff with Rosalia. and stuff too. But I'm always slow to read them, and I forget. And I did write them for a while, up through until like Cold Steel 2, and then I just kind of like dropped off reading them. I should really go read the rest. I need to make like my own audio book version of it. I'm sure that's out there also, you know. Anyways, let's do the next thing, a day in the lives with the SSS. February 20th, 1207 a date that marks 6 days since Crossbow had finally been liberated through the SSS. They now tested on getting wealth of responses in preparation for the signing ceremony except for the following month. The initial team of 4, Kia and Chief Sergei, were up to the task, especially now that they were able to resume their post from their beloved base. Rip. Aww. His class are pretty tiring. This looks like I want to get a good night's sleep. I'll say, I slept like a baby. Could have my old bed back. Yeah, when last time we had breakfast together like this? That's an excellent point. It's been over 2 years. Feels like it's been even longer. That's because a whole lot's happened. How'd you get to control yet, alright? Ceremony's still a ways away. Anyway, hurry me before food gets cold. Yeah, the chief's right. Ellie, Tio, and I poured our hearts into it. It's jam-packed with lots of love. Compliments to the chefs. Thanks, ladies. Don't mind if I do. Heat up, I hope you like it. Excited to see how it turned out as well. Phew, that hit the spot. Taylor's practicing a lot, but you do really up your cooking games too. Cooking isn't the only thing I've been getting better at. It comes with the territory. Don't forget there are two chiefs at this breakfast table now. Yeah, that's right. We're moving on the road. Like me joining the senior Sunday school class. We've both grown a lot these past few years. Not the only pair that's been Johnson grown. Am I right, Lloyd? Well, I suppose. What was that? Hey, Ray's the one who said it, not me. You took the bait. Hook, line, and sinker. You two, I swear. So the storyline crossover has changed drastically since SS officially went on hiatus 2 years ago. You'll be touching base with the CGF in Mishheim today, right, Randy? That should prove helpful. It's more like I'm going down there to lend Murray a hand. But let you know if I hear anything interesting. So forget, leave Fair Bunny tomorrow. Take care of some unfinished business at Thor's. Right, you mentioned you already booked your train tickets and everything. Just to be staying here tonight, yeah? How are we throwing a little farewell party? It's not going to be gone for very long. It sounds to me like you're only looking for an excuse to drink, Chief. That would be nice for us to have a full table at dinner again. Noel and Wazy have been preoccupied with work, and Risha's been rehearsing non-stop. That's okay. I'm sure I'll find a way to get to there soon. Anyway, good luck with work, guys. So I'll make it home early so we can have that party. Speaking of which, you and the Chief are going to the police tomorrow today, right? Yeah, First Division requests our help. I work to do before Crossbow can officially declare its independence. As he got nothing coming, thinks he can pawn off the worst of it on me. Let him handle that. Well, we're not gonna have a choice if more support requests come rolling in. How about you, Tio? Gonna work with the Renfrew building like usual? Wait, it's the IBC building now, huh? Yes, but I'll be dropping in on Juna first. The net has been more active due to news of Crossbow becoming independent. Time for company forfeiting ownership of the building, reducing their presence has also been a hot topic around the office. The Run Company and ZCF plan on moving onto the open floors. There's a lot of work to be done. Shoot, like the international office again, huh? It must be chaotic there, but the future's looking bright at the very least. It is. The other manufacturers moving in creates the opportunity for top engineers to collaborate more often. What about you, Ellie? Aren't you busier than any of us? For real, you're as busy as doing all across right now. Makes you the busiest assistant. You're not wrong. Just so happens I have a little breathing room in my schedule today. Just not trouble wrapping up everything I need to do by tonight. So give me a call if you need a hand with SSS work. Will do. It's great to hear. And we're sort of talking about work that breakfast's already over. You're after Sunday school, right, Kia? Yep. What do you say to the together once everyone's ready? So that's us divided for their respective jobs. Each is looking forward to the dinner they promised up later that evening. Was that it? Oh no, this is the start. So you have a schedule for today. Incidentally, as you are due to meet with a politician from the Republic's ruling party next month, I've taken the liberty of compiling information you may want to know in advance. Thank you. Really couldn't ask for a more dependable assistant. I'd like so much to bring at your side. It's the least I can do, Grandfather. Speaking of the Republic, hear your father is planning to run for office in the next election. Yes, it sounds as though learning of my decision to get involved in politics had an impact on him too. As you know, his views are similar to those of the former president. Thus, he's going to be in a direct conflict with the ruling party's candidate. The origins of our folks' current prosperity can be traced to the reparations paid by the Empire. The significant factor is the new president and his party's willingness to throw capital around with reckless abandon. He strikes me as a little too forceful in implementing many of his policies. Even so, his approval rating is very high. Trying to be ahead on is going to be an easy task. Still, I'll be rooting for success. As well, I can reach a strong position in a healthy democracy. He was in touch with my mother and Musse lately, too. So I have no reason to believe they're planning to get back together or anything. Doesn't surprise me. Both have their own separate lives now. Even so, it's good to hear. Glad to them if you're moving forward with their lives. So am I. By the way, about the conference on my schedule for this afternoon. She received a call to cancel this morning. Oh, really? Indeed, they have to finish work early for once and take it easy. Apologies if we done a cancellation, I'll about to do some reading. Well, if you're sure, I had a farewell party for any night, so this does come at a good time. So I get as much work as I can before I leave. Very well, thank you. Alright everyone, so we're going to practice formal letter writing to a friend. Who you'd like. It could be someone you play with every day, or you could pick someone who lives far away. So you decide what to write. Otherwise you write it from the heart. Also, I brought in help for today. This is Kia, one of my older students, and she's going to lead the class with me. So I'm ready to come with any questions you might have, okay? Don't be shy, I'm here to help, so ask me anything you want. Give you pointers and good writing minutes, help you think of what to write about. Yes, ma'am. She's gonna write to your friend, huh? Guess I could write a letter to Ryu or Henri. Oh, she didn't say how to do someone outside class. Write one to you too, Colin. Oh, thanks, kid. In that case, I'm gonna write one to Nana. I should write one to Ren, too. I don't get to see her that much. Maybe she'd like it. Oh. Gonna write you a letter too, Colin. Oh, one's for Kia and Momo. You're so sweet, Nana. In that case, write you back once I get it. Sounds like you'll have at least one person in mind, then. It wasn't too hard now, was it? Actually, I was talking you want to write a Shizuku letter, too. Oh, yes. Shizuku lives in her own fear now, doesn't she? It's a wonderful idea. She'll be thrilled to hear from you. Plenty of paper and envelopes to spare, so you're welcome to join them. Alright, thanks, Sister Marvel. But since I opened up, I'll wait till I get home to write it. I need some fucking water. Jesus Christ. Thanks. Just thinking I'm not getting enough leafy greens down there. Not. Seriously gonna kill you if you do this again, Tio. Try pizza and Bella Cola. Come on. By yourself, maybe you're just gonna gripe about whatever I get you. So goes the task I left you with. Fine. I'll do this dumb grass and go out. So the wireless router expansion test is going alright. Can handle stuff like this in my sleep. Usually. Is there a problem? Kinda, yeah. Keep running these weak connection issues I haven't been able to figure out yet. Not about to drop when there's too much traffic, but this feels like someone's trying to leech off us. That's concerning. Not sure it though. Someone's supposed to catch you at some point. Counts for the smartest guy around. Probably should make that sooner than at some point. Let's make resolving this a priority instead. I can help. I'll also get in touch with the chief and ask if it's okay to use the Foundation's network for this. Okay, you're following these hackers, so am I. You can keep up with me though? Oh, more than worried you won't be able to keep up with me. They're like friends now. He's going to talk about park security, Randy. Oh. Rip. Rip to me, Schneider. So he was hanging out here before. Interesting. He just keeps telling up. You're kind of doubt over authorities as it is. I mean, she would thank you for anyone. If you should be thanking anyone for that, it's Reen. He's her homeworld teacher, you know. I thought Ren would be acquainted with the park's chief of planning, of all people. At least a small world, I guess. Sure, let's get down to business, shall we? I want to put the CTF in charge of security. I'm usually temporarily the park works on turning over its main provider, correct? Correct. With the Empire pulling out its funding to rework our security apparatus. That note here. On that note, here are the blueprints for the park. Say, Matt, is it just me or that Mecha Mishi over there different somehow? Maybe you and your eagle-eyed notice. Randy, appreciate not veering off topic. We're just getting started. It's fine. It's plenty for you two are not occupying event one way or another anyways. Since everybody up, might as well go into it now. Looking at it is indeed Mecha Mishi, or rather, the Mecha Mishi Mark II to be precise. For a rotating event, he has a new metallic frame. That's why he looks different to you. That makes sense. Pretty snazzy foot he's got. She'll be hit with all the little types who visit the park. So we hope, between you and me, we're excited by it too. I'll see the appeal of myself. I'll take your word for it. Like I said, doesn't want to make it too heavier. Can't imagine someone lugging it around for hours on a hot day. Pretty sure so look what happened. He's fully mechanical inside. No performer required. Moving on, he was generously sent to us by a fan of the park studying at the Ruhr Institute of Technology. Just recently started putting him into use around here on a trial basis. He's quite the impressive piece of tech. His capabilities are limited, but he can be remote controlled, which is great. Woo! I put this bad boy together must be quite the character. Let I for a park mascot. I can't whistle. You're telling me. Look, their proposed training regimen for the new recruit bannings. Fine piece of work, mixing common assessments with practical experience gained from helping to guard the ceremony. Well done. Thank you very much. Do the chief look through it before spinning it to you. Thank you praise my work so much because it does give me a lot more confidence in it. Glad to hear it. And as far as lazy and picking an eye with this stuff, it's gotta feel good when he gives you a stamp of approval. Hi. Regardless, I personally signed you off on the plan. As long as the higher-ups also approve, I'll be counting on you to start putting it into action from tomorrow. Hi, baby. Oh shit, thank you, sir. Think about it, the girl you're supposed to get detective, huh? So just having that time makes my head start thinking back on it. You look like a real grown-up member of the force now. Couldn't agree more. Our systems become significantly more dependable than when they started too. I wonder how the two of you speak so highly of me, but I still don't feel like I deserve such praise. Still a long way from being able to compare to my brother, I think. Nah, you're good, Lloyd. No interruption, but sorry I have to take this? Looks like it's urgent. I'm so glad you picked up, Lloyd. Got an emergency on your hands. Can you meet up right away? Absolutely. Head out once. You can brief me while I'm on the move. I'm gonna start all this, Chief, Detective. Don't worry about it. Sounds like a deal is racing against time. Here's the report later. For now, just get going. I have any urgent tasks to give you today, regardless. So you can do your best. So your proposal on your behalf. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, busy as ever, those kids. Sure, I wasn't counting on that right now. So communication interruption, huh? But do you know where the cause of the outage came from? Yes, the origin is the terminal in the geofence F sector, which someone are selling has physical access to. Reception isn't over either, it's still ongoing. So you'll need to be really careful then. Maybe you should let Key and Ellie know, since they're both nearby. So what bothered you? Could you give us a hand on something? You see, what the fuck is Kia gonna do? Respectfully. All she does is have an order, she doesn't fight. Understand right away. Fortunately, cancellation just freed up my afternoon, so this won't be a bother at all. Just finished class the other day too. On my way! You both brings understanding. I think it's over. I get down to the next order of business. Let's see. She's probably not practicing a steady idea of how we'll need to secure things. Works for me. This is a good way for us to get some quality time on the clock too. Are you kidding me? She has like some kind of date? Easy. There's a nice chance to have a little one-on-one. Alright, you never have to mention something to you. Great. What now? Truth be told, head back to Thor's tomorrow. Hope you join me there the rest of the SS for dinner night. That works for you. What? I was on the Ritz for it. You know, send me off in style and all that. I like tonight. More company? Maria, it'll be a hoot. You in? Right?
Why didn't you...
Huh?
Why didn't you say something sooner? How could you not tell me you're going back to Arabonia?
Whoa, slow down. I think I'm in misunderstanding here. Like, Mishi, what are you... What the hell, pal? Some kind of prank? What's going on? Why is he... You humans are an eyesore? I don't know what's going on in him. Look like he's gone berserk. You mean take a swing at someone? You just have someone in a cold sweat. Well, I'll put him in his place. Hey, you think you run away? I'll talk later, Murray. Right now, we gotta get that cat back in the bag. Right, let's go. Look at him go! Oh, he's gonna disappear. God, you know you bucket of bolts. Hey, look out! Yeah, leave the crumbs on and pack all sorts of projectiles. Can handle this thing, Murray. Get the safety. Roger, take care of them. Don't you dare anything crazy. Cover backup, so just hold out. Don't you dare stay here, everyone. You need to calmly follow orders so you'll be evacuated. Understood? Bro, imagine when relaxing on the beach and then Mekamishi comes out here 1v1ing. Is it just you and me now, pal? Heck, a bunch, but I've seen worse. Hehehe. You're but a mere human. Do you think you have what it takes to overpower my mechanical might? Some serious fire is packing under the hood. Doesn't matter to come out of this unscathed, even if I whip out Berserker. Sight! Oh, hey, everybody!
Fire!
Did you guys see Tia ominously placed in the background from that?
Zero breaker!
Come on, Randy.
Did I just hear you muttering to yourself about taking a few bumps and bruises?
Didn't Murray tell you not to do anything crazy?
Well, I'll be. Guess you guys are my cavalry yet again, huh? Good timing. How'd you get here so fast anyway?
We'll explain later. Let's focus on neutralizing the Mecha Mishi.
I'll back you guys up with my orders, too.
Sounds good. All right, SSS. Let's show Catboy here what we're made of.
Must destroy humans!
I don't know if it makes it better or worse. Like, should I have done these first, you know, like when I got them?
Thanks.
Or is it better now that I've read the story to do this
Let's
now
go.
and seeing what happens later? You know, who knows? Megamishi was really obsessed with Lloyd there. I don't know why. I think it makes it kind of better to not know what was gonna happen. Huh, class finally behind us. Is everyone alright? Yeah, we're good, we're good. Yep, no worse for wear. Man, am I glad you guys showed up when you did. I could have been in bad shape. Thanks. But who knows things? We did a pretty familiar sounding house somewhere back there. I definitely heard too. Calling at the start of the liberation last week as well. Exactly watching over us and decided to lend us a hand, or a paw, as it were. Oh, I could at least kind of give him a great big thank you. Hell? Paw? Never mind that. Anyway, glad you're alright, Randy. As am I. You just had to take things a little too far, like you always do. My bad, my bad. Didn't even worry, everyone. Forgiven. So how did the rest of you manage to make it here so quickly? Coincidence. Been tracing a virus that's been going around which led us here. Virus? What do you mean? Connects me to sick. There's been a really bad program floating around the orbital network. Yes, it's been wreaking havoc across network traffic here in Crossbell. Juna and T were thankfully able to pinpoint the source of it early this morning. Terminal in the depths of the GeoF sector, which we already investigated earlier. T ran analysis and began exterminating the virus. Then all the archaisms located inside the geoform began to go berserk. Exactly what happened to Megamishi, as a matter of fact. Damn, you gotta be kidding me. Fortunately, the archaisms settled down again after the virus was purged from the system. For avoided deletion, it managed a wireless transmit somewhere else. Managed to chase it to Michelin Wonderland with Kie's help. Then combined Lloyd using the old detective noodle with Ellie's analytics, and boom! We're here on the beach saving Randy. Huh, that's a detailed recounting. That makes perfect sense. Because we only officially back last week, but you're already humming along. I'll say, it's almost unbelievable. Not that I'm complaining, of course. I was have to figure out what to do with Megamishi now. Does anyone have any ideas? Circuitry seems to have shortened out, but it'd still be safer to put him somewhere secure before attempting any repairs. It's a good point. Contact the original engineer and let us know what happened. RIP. Ultimately, the virus's true origins and how it spread remain shrouded in mystery. It's clear that further investigation of the matter would be required at a later date. However, with the virus itself disposed of, the case could be solved for the time being. Later that, SSS, along with Juna and Murray held a lively farewell dinner for Randy. Thanks for reminding me, everyone. Guess a change of pace isn't bad every now and then? Happy to have you both. Make yourselves at home. Yeah, plenty of grub. Somebody should have asking for seconds. Since Randy's going away party, so I went all out. Means booze for those of a drinking age, too. Everything in moderation, right? This is targeted discrimination. 3 years later, I'm still the only underage member of the SSS. Not that I even want to drink. What's wrong, Ray? Waiting on me to pour you a drink? You jerk! Don't think you're just off the hook just yet. What are you telling me soon you're going back to Erebonia? You're just gonna walk out of my life for another year like it was nothing? Right, I guess I sort of got cut off back at Michelin before I could explain. Sorry, I've given you the wrong idea. You just work at the bridge case. We'll be back for good in about a month or so. What? Basically, just to make sure the person taking my joke can hit the ground running. Murray? Why'd you say in the first place? That's my bad. I swear, why are you like this? Just being an adult, you have a career. Not just one hinges on communication, attention to detail, and... Listen, these normies go. Get a room ready, will you? A room? Right, and you haven't even had a drop to drink. Andy and Ray, sitting in a tree. Oh, Tieta, that's funny one on the butt of the joke. It's not your fault, Randy. You could at least act like you're sorry.
Lloyd?
Don't mind me. It's just... I was thinking that we really know how to throw a party.
We sure do. Makes you think of old times, doesn't it? I've always hoped we could be like this again.
Yeah. It's like I'm in a blissful dream.
Hey, since you're here and all, you up for a game of cards?
Way to not so subtly change the subject. But fine. I'll make you cry, Uncle.
And then you'll have to do my bidding.
Sounds to me like we need to come up with a special penalty for the loser.
Ooh, sounds fun.
I want in!
I already know I'm gonna be dragged into a game, so just give me my hand.
I'm in if we're betting Mira.
Yeah. How about we stay away from gambling?
I still think Chief Sergey's voice should be way deeper, considering how much he fucking smokes. Or at least,
Hey,
like...
all done. Now I just seal it and... I'm getting really sleepy. Today was so much fun. What was that? I could see much more clearly before. Oh well, as long as we're together, we can do anything. Just like today. I hope tomorrow's just as much fun. But for now, time to go to bed. I couldn't be happier that the SSS is back up and running, Shizuka. I know we're bound to run into our share of troubles, but there's nothing we can't beat, as long as we stick together. Hope this letter isn't too long. I can't wait to talk in Crossbell. Love, Kia.
When did Shizuku got put with Grimwood, though? Because Shizuku was hanging out with Grimwood when all this stuff happened, so was she not in Realm of Furia? Damn. Probably should have done things earlier for the courts to load. Okay.
Slab of Reminiscence activated.
Oh god, I can't do an Elise voice. It always changes. Elise, Alvin, I'm fucking terrible. Actually get to see what school's like in St.Astraia. Decorum. So should already wear the two founding principles here at St.Astraia. First is humility and austerity. Second is service towards another. I don't know what austerity means. The ideas rooted in the real world actions of our school's namesake. The story begins in the distant past. We call our patron saint the Lady Astraea. Approximately 900 years ago, when the capital was enshrouded in a mysterious miasma, she was a miracle worker who saved countless lives. It was thanks to her efforts that then Emperor Astorius Rise Arnold II was able to relocate his people and his vassals to St. Ark. The words and principles she left behind serve as our spiritual support today.
Close to half a year has passed since the end of the war. It's already been a while since St.Astraia opened back up after a temporary break. Recently, all kinds of stuff's been going on in Crossbell. And Prince Olivert even got married. But
so
despite everything going on in the world beyond these walls, the drudgery of my days remain Yep. Welcome to my teenage purgatory.
Well, she kind of asked for it, though. Micah, hey Micah, are you even listening? Oh, are we playing as this random girl? What's now? Sheesh, I knew you were off in La La Land. Hey, you've ever goes to the famous Thor's Military Academy, right? I think we have a chronicle of the amazing students who helped in the war and everything. Do you think I should introduce me to your brother? Huh? To Wayne? Yeah, you don't want that. He's a ball of misery, annoying, and never stops to catch his breath. We're all talking brawn and no brain. Wayne is the big one with glasses, right? That's in the, like, van. Right? Dang, you're making it harsh on him. What a shame, you're a lucky individual, and yet your poor brother. How pitiable. Brother's got this friend, Stark. He's a real lady killer. I haven't seen him lately. And God, there's a full-page magazine spreads of Prince Cedric and Lord Rufus. Ugh, I need more hotties in my life. There's something else, you know that? I'm super out of his late, so I thought it might have something to do with the recent coma incidents. Idiot for worrying about you. These rumors have been talked at school? Very same. A grand mystery unfolding on our very own St.Astraia. It's kind of weird, isn't it kind of weirdly exciting? Healthy, energetic young girls suddenly falling into comas without rhyme or reason. After being out for half a day, and suddenly wake up, only for the random incident to be a total blank. There have already been 6 victims. Anyone could be next. Hey Micah, what do you think? Is there foul play at work? I mean, it's probably just one big coincidence, right? Apparently you've got all kinds of pent-up exhaustion and stuff. Oh, you get such a downer sometimes, you know that? We had victims in our old class and you couldn't care less. Personally, it was the result of someone casting a curse. Fortunately, it was popular at school last year, but you never heard about curses. Oh, that's possible! Then you can say the 7 mysteries of St.Astraia. Everything's just so boring. Can't I just sit through 3 more years of this? Ugh. Who's outside? Oh. What is everybody doing here? Is this supposed to be Kurt with a wig? That's definitely Kurt with a wig. That's so funny. What is he? Oh, is he like, hello? Vision you spot at 10 o'clock. Who the heck is that? Alright, Micah? You're right, girls in the road right now. Kurt's a cutie. He's very feminine. But, like, nothing wrong with that. He could definitely protect you. He's a bad bitch. I love how, like, I just love how, like, he looks so out of place. I wonder what Joshua looks like in the remake for Trails of the Sky 1 where he's in the maid outfit. So this one is doing Sunday class, huh? It's pretty outside. I can totally see some creeps skulking around here. The security guard said he hadn't had word of any intruders. Blue-haired girl. Bitch, we all know it's Kurt with a wig. Let's be real. I'm sorry, this is so funny to me. He looks so, like, he looks like the most, like, Kurt's not even, like, a huge beefy guy, but they made him look like, oh, man. And, like, they were, like, definitely, like, this is not a girl in a dress. That's not to say there's anything wrong with, you know, if you want to dress in whatever way you want. I just think he looks so funny right now. Correct, dude. No clues in this entire situation is shrouded in mystery. There are now 6 girls in class. Can't let any more victims. Really is awful. Shut up, okay? We're gonna solve the mystery no matter what. Hey, wait. Is that what I think it is? It is indeed. The cavalry's arrived. Why is Elliot not have to be in a dress? Long time to see everyone. I've been waiting too long. I see. So it's gonna help me with the investigation. Hi, it's didn't surprise you all. Truly told I'm missing here on off as provincial music lecturer. How am I to be a permanent member of the faculty? I just want to do what I can to make this place a safe place for students. Thank you so much. It means a lot having you here. Glad to be of service. And I'm gotta say, seeing you on St.Astraia uniforms is sure as a sight. Especially a certain someone over there. But hey, you rock it.
Not even sure what to say to that, quite frankly.
Is it Emma?
How did it come to this?
Wait, I'm so confused. What? That's undoubtedly Kurt in a dress. Why does he sound like that? I was sorry a few days ago. Yeah. So is Kurt making his voice sound like that? Okay, I can't with this. Or is it like some sort of spell? There's no other way to put it really. Students are falling into deep sleep without warning at the academy. There must be some root cause behind this phenomenon. Honestly, we were returning to school next week, and I realized it didn't stay unsolved for her arrival. It was just patrolling the grounds. Could I ask for assistance? Absolutely, we'd love to help. Ash, Allie, and the instructor are all out right now. But even if the whole group can join, me, Musse, and Kurt can put in double time for this. What she said, the instructor would never turn you down if we were here. It's only right that we help not only you as his sister, but the princess as well. I, of course, wholeheartedly agree. I'm sure Instructor Tail will be more than improved if we further this part of extracurricular activities. So there's no need from us. Thank goodness. It's relief to hear you say yes. Marina's away, so I wasn't sure how the little meeting was going to go. It's gonna work out for the better, even. How so? Well, the spell group allows us to be discreet. There are currently no signs of this malicious nature, but for now to worry the students or other guardians. Good point. Circumstances are too vague to be causing a panic. So you'd better keep this on down low. I have an idea. Oh, just as students of the St.Astraia. Juna could do that, yes. I have the right assistance on the side. There's not much we can do to solve that. Yeah, unfortunately, if we're on the inside, we'll let you know. The silence? Oh, that just won't do. It'll have to do, Musse. What makes you so certain of that? There's some very strange circumstances. There's no telling what danger will run on 2 while on site. If it does turn out to be something malicious, student body as a whole could very well be in grave danger. Could you do anything from the silence then? No, you must come with us. Sorry, I don't think I'm following you. Musse? Don't tell me. Just leave everything to me? Did she cast a spell? Like, change his voice. Helios, help me. Spread stone control. Knows how defenseless they make you feel. Plus, Musse had me drink that weird secret witch's brew. Yeah, and even my voice is different. So I said this for the royal family, so they can be at peace. Katina, are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. Trying to investigate the rest of the school. Let's be done over with. Right, I'm counting on you. Hey now, don't get all shy on us. So I can tell you look perfectly fine. Just relax. She's right. Be more confident in yourself. You know you can do it, Katina. More confident? Seriously? You have my sympathies, Kurt. Okay, sorry. Anyway, let's get down to business. There are two possibilities here. You still got a sleeping gas leaking somewhere. So we're using a drug to commit a criminal act. It's not much in the way of clues yet, so we should approach from both angles. Good idea, then let's... Oh, aren't you from the middle school section? Oopsie, go right ahead. Sorry, President Elise. I was in the ambulance, so I could help be a little nosy. Wow, so you're missing like coincidence? You start to recount lady help. Real mom heroes. Serious matter, you know. If possible, really appreciate if you kept this all on the down low. When one rumors traveling through the school. Oh, come on, understand anything. Let's just sealed. Oh lord, she found a new boyfriend. Leslie. Fine, you already know what's going on. At this point, it might be better off having her cooperate with our investigation. You mean... If she's going along, we could use a guide anyway. Exactly, Musse and I were going to do that, but I think we stand out too much. Precisely! President Elise can't in a room without commanding its attention. Also not up to date on the latest rooms here, so it's an actual student might be the best fit. Oh gosh, for real? Awesome, how lucky am I? Hi, baby. Please, calm down. Baby, I gotta record. Listen carefully, Micah. There's no telling what our danger looks at this time of this mystery. Now, normally I'd never allow for this. This time we have the perfect escort, so just mark it as an exception. An escort who? Stanley is a swordsman recognized by the royal family. With her here, our safety ought to be assured. RIP. You know what's so funny though? Like, this is a girls' school, right? So you have to, like, the notion is that, like...
Hi. My name's Micah.
Like, I get boys, like, it's supposed to be a boy, but, like, objectively, like, this is, like, you know, just having a sexual awakening, and then it's like, oh, wait, no. It's just funny.
May I ask yours?
My name is Katina. I know full well how tormented by fear and uncertainty you all must be.
That has to be Emma's voice. That sounds just like Emma's voice, but a little bit less timid.
But I vow to solve this mystery alongside my companions. It is but for a short time, but I look forward to working with you, Micah.
That is undoubtedly Emma's voice. Nobody can change her mind.
Oh, Adios above. She's lovely.
Did I say something odd?
Oh boy. Kurt's in for it now. That's the drama I live for. Give it a rest, Musse. Micah, show you in your best behavior. What about that ring of yours? I think it's Rosewood Julie. Would you take care of something that valuable? Oh, whoops. I gotta be more careful. Christina, huh? I get to work with her. Luckiest girl at St.Astraia. You know, Kurt's cute. Not super, like... I like Kurt. Thus did Micah join the investigation team. The group then split into two. Just sitting off Elise, who had student council duties to attend to, they began to look around the school. St.Astraia Girls' School rooftop. I just love it though, because like, it doesn't really connect very well, so it's like, it's just the frame of Kurt and then just like, it's just funny. And right here, it's the roof. It's another incident, huh? Whoa, nice vibe up here. Right, the view sublime. It's always crowded after during lunch. Really up here after school, but every now and then, you girls do little clandestine meetups. Huh, really? Talk about a classic Girls Academy cliche. Not that I'm interested in that sort of thing. God, she's beautiful. Oh, I did. Really is pulling her off well. Adios, help me. I should have everything I said. I just go and figure out who I am. Do this so I have to search for the clues in Reverie. I didn't I didn't really turn anything up. It's just a normal open space, no holes for gas leakage or anything. And the incident occurred at lunch. I'm gonna do Kurt's voice as normal so we know who's talking, alright? Okay. I'm not doing this high pitched like alright. You know, with someone inside, I found it hard to believe they'd be able to pull it off in front of so many people. Actually, I was present when it happened. Not because I was talking, then all of a sudden she just collapsed. Called for a teacher, everything. It took half a day for her to wake up. Yeah, they said it was an anemia. That's not entirely impossible, but... Hey, ladies, I'd say about time we hit the next spot. Kurt's one of the cuter guys, I would think, if I had to make a list, I guess. It's just funny. I talked to Elliot. Hey, practicing your talent? Glad to see it. Of course, there's rarely talent left before the next contest. Did I say contest? Should I ask you for your help after school? My, you're quite the popular one. So interesting to us. What it feels like to be Reem. Should I stand at the bend area about it if you don't mind? Do you have to know anything about the coma incidents happening in St.Astraia? As it happens, yes. One of the incidents took place in this music room. Some of the middle school girls came here to clean after school. One of them started classes they were preparing for a club. I was next to her at the time. She said it found nowhere. It was terrifying. I see. So she was next to her, but uninfected. And according to one of the younger students, some middle schooler collapsed during class 2. Whereas the most incidents have been during break time after school, but I guess it's not a definite thing. Huh, so the kids that don't fit the MO. Could you explain in more detail? Blah, 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 blah. No details for us, though. We turned around, so there's not any real clues. By the way, where are we? First floor of the middle school. People probably come here because all it really has is the prep room and storehouse. I bet she's gonna faint. Kurt's gonna catch her. I see. Nothing's gonna happen here, right? Either way, we should still check it out. It's not looking for someone. Nothing out of the ordinary, really. Yeah, generally, this place has been touched in at least 2 weeks. Thank God, so glad I came along. You're super honest, smart. Kurt's just so beautiful and... Hey, so not really like the coincidence, but... Is anything weird around here? Any problems? Let's see. Not that I can think of, honestly. Just as coincidence and peaceful. Like, maddeningly so. Also, I feel like this might have something to do with her ring. Because... But it doesn't quite make sense, but she was saying jewelry. Maybe someone's jewelry? Oh, but come to think of it, it's not gonna mine. It's completely unrelated, but she found this ring around here. Check it out. Okay, yeah. Oh, wow. Looks like it has a pretty mirror, that's for sure. I'm always collecting this stuff like this. Right, Micah, the goddess of fortune. The goddess of fortune, right. She's certainly an interesting girl. She really knows someone on the opposite end of the luck spectrum. I know something the student council check if anyone dropped any rings. I really claimed that but nobody really claimed it, so I ended up getting to keep it for myself. Can't go ever since. Though I know what I had to flaunt it all over the place. Oh, so it's not so dirty little secret, eh? Cutting its heck, but I can't falter for it. The class bell. Time flies. So down the run, starts a group with Musse and others to exchange info. Huh? Are you leaving? In that case, I'd like to get them to let me help you during class. Micah, you really don't have to. It's no big deal, Lady Katina. Anything for you. Alright, Kurt. Time for plan B. Too bad, but this is best for everyone. Micah, that's how I did just get away this. Don't put you in harm's way. Let's take it from here, please. Lady Katina. Thanks so much for showing us around, Micah. We should get back to class. Good day to you. Be still my pubescent heart. God, wait. I can end the game. Let's check it for now. But first I better stash the ring. Wait, couldn't think of it. Did I actually find this ring? Was it really around here? Rates are kind of hazy. Well, that's not normal. Alright, now's not the time for this. For Lady Juna, Lady Katina. Huh. I don't quite get what the ring's doing. But it's something to do with the ring. Student Council President's office, class time. I see, so if you guys weren't ready to figure out what's going on. Fortunately, we could at least check out all the places where it happened. They scattered all throughout the campus grounds, and there was nothing odd about any of them. The roof of the classroom, the hallway, the rose garden. I believe there was some kind of gas leak at so many disparate spots. Yeah, it just doesn't seem natural. Which means there's a perpetrator here. Since having spent everything, but no commonalities between victims. In other words, it's indiscriminate. We're just taking targets at random. Is that really possible? That's the question. We have to figure out their modus operandi. Also, Musse's here. Why the fuck? Like, Musse, you're like the 80 steps ahead. Like, why haven't you figured this out yet? Wasn't like placing bricks right after class when there are people around. It's even a criminal picking a victim based on zero criteria out of a large crowd of people. It just doesn't seem likely. Yeah, I feel like we're so close. This thing is eluding us. I don't really think about it. Such a bizarre set of incidents. Why don't you look into it? Feels like we're grabbing at thin air. I realized the fault of that good luck charm. Oh yeah, I got tired of the rumors circulating about campus. Those girls seem to love that sort of occult-esque stuff. Cold, huh? Might just be room after all. Elliot, I do not like where this is heading. I see, so there's a third possibility we hadn't considered. Yeah, and it's not entirely possible. First on cable causing unexplainable phenomena. I'm sure you guys are familiar with what I'm getting at. Wait, you can't mean? Not in fact. It's the ring. Pingo, you came across it a few times. So-called gifts from the goddess, incapable of being analyzed with modern technology. This instance caused our artifacts. One thing's for sure. It's the activation trigger. Yeah, we need to approach this from a different angle. You never noticed anything? Connecting a thread you might have overlooked? Hey, mention, something's been nagging at me this whole time. Something might tie everything together. Yes, child. I'm gonna say this because I'm the girl with the ring. I'm sure this doesn't connect, but it won't be very useful. Okay. Alright, the Musco section. I did come up quite a few times. Hi, baby. Most of those incidents occurred were in public, but on the flip side, there are spots where the Musco girls gathered as well. The biggest one of them all incident took place in the Musco classroom. It's only instance of someone losing consciousness in the classroom, right? Yeah. Hers is actually Mecca's class. She talked her getting it. Wait, we sent her back to class, didn't we? Darn, guess what Dr. next break between classes? Thank goodness, I figured you'd all be here. Please, what's wrong? I'm hoping this is something serious, but... You know that one girl, Micah. She just read that she hasn't come back to class. Seriously? It's odd. We thought it was with the middle school section hallway. Now you mentioned it, I really doubt she actually went back to class. It's concerning. Okay, let's go look for her, just in case. Hazardous door is right here. What was this I'm sensing? It's coming down the stairs. Should be a storage area, though. Guess this thing doesn't seem right. What the heck? Okay. Magic circle? No, it's a ventilation circle connected to somewhere else. I could have well wandered through it, but I hate to entertain the possibility. You know what to do and see. I'm connected to coma incidents. Agreed. It's highly likely there are dangers ahead, and we're not ones qualified to investigate. Just as if, let's go through a group of 4 and leave someone behind to keep watch. Wise idea. I think you'd be best suited to put into practice, Elliot. Students don't know you well, so you can easily keep them away. Good point. Let us do you guys then, in class 7. Understood. Once we're prepared, we're charging in. What does she have? I'm gonna take Elliot. Because I don't know if Musse has any healing on her. Where are we? Looks like some kind of church. Wait, no, I know this place. Yes, we decided to host 2 events. Two events immediately preceding the Great Twilight. It can't be. The Growl of Erebos? I see. We're inside again now. There's just speculation on my part. The Growl of Erebos originally a promo ground that exists beneath Heimdall Cathedral. We suppose that was moved to the Corel Imperial Villa. Part of it was left behind. I see. St.Astraia is situated close to the Cathedral, and I mention it. This has been just over 900 years now. Unreal. There's a specific reason why a portal leading here showed up in the actual school building all of a sudden, though. Come on, the cause. I'm not sure We're up to handling it by ourselves. Could do something for Micah and for the school. I've been able to save our instructor Amelia when we were last in the growl. We've grown as both a team and as individuals since then. It's good a time as any to show just how much. Yes, I want to finish St.Astraia, so all the more reason I want to protect it. Let's put an end to whatever's turning these girls' halcyon school days into a walking nightmare. So do whatever I can. Tell everyone, there's no time what's waiting for us up ahead.
I know we're in the middle of something, but your voice changed back, Kurt.
Oh, poo. The medicine must have worn off.
Can we not worry about it and just focus on what we're doing?
Oh, I like how you really good, Vic. Oh yeah, I just walked down the... I cut through that, so we're just walking into the final part of it now. Huh? What am I doing here? Okay, throw your presents in. After I... Oh, why did I forget? What are Katina and Ozo doing? Has it been going okay? Rip. No, it's not like I'm crushing on her or anything. She's strong and cool and reliable and... Wait. Someone's obsessed with Kurt. Why? Huh. Guess I never knew I like girls. Cares if I like girls. I mean, these things are real. Katina, save me. What's that change just now? Whoa, where the heck am I? It's 12 Creepsville in here. How'd I end up... Oh, Lord. What's going on here? Kurt. You fast.
Cortina? Your voice.
I'm sorry for deceiving you about who I really am, Micah. But fear not. I'm here to save you.
The confusing sexuality crisis she just had. Clearly just made it in time. That's what I think it is. I was mistaking it. That's a devil. But the Micah's ring is actually an artifact that seals away its vitality. I've been used here to gather power since before it's the last. When the twilight was stopping, but now? It's a conjecture for later. We can let this thing run loose. Hey, it's not full strength yet, so let's patch it while we can. After that, I don't care what the heck you are. We're taking you down.
Be on guard. It's strong.
They made it pretty easy for these daydreams. Oh. Looks like we did it. Let's read into our slumbering affair. Hurry back and tell Elise the good news. Oh crap, let's hightail it out here quick, you guys. Because the devil ruling with space is gone. Can you stand? So you have the straight flex, back to where you belong. Afterwards. She's gonna dream about Kurt forever now. Dream along the founding pillar of the academy. Like the St.Astraia from all those years ago? Most likely. 900 years ago, St.Astraia saved countless lives when calamity befell the imperial capital. It was she who inspired the founding values of this academy and said that she possessed a mysterious ring. Known as the Ring of Salvation, it allegedly had the power to heal all wounds, and with it, the mere brush of a hand. I contacted Vita and she confirmed that it actually existed back then. I suspect it was hidden away from the primal ground in a breasting beneath the academy. When the trial happened, I partially recovered its abilities, and the rest is history. Let's get the story. Work occasionally with the ring on, so that that's connected was the only times it was activated. Lines of the intel I got from Gaius. Evidently, there are past examples of demons trying to use artifacts. The fact that Micah's managed to tamper with lends credits to that, he said. I see, so I spoke with the rest of the student council members, and nobody knew a thing about the ring. Then this is all the work of the demon. It seems likely that said demon tried to manifest during the twilight. And since it's still incomplete, he's to try and finish the job. Either that, or something that managed to remain after the twilight ended. There's no way to know. We're just glad we have to take care of it. I'm sure St.Astraia is pleased as punch. Rest your soul. Bet you're right about that. Take responsibility for getting this ring to Gaius. Make sure nobody ever uses it for evil ever again. Your efforts are very much appreciated. Everyone, I'm so grateful all you've done for this academy. By the way, I want to let you know that while Micah suffered some minor scrapes, she's otherwise perfectly fine. Sure, how much of that to you, Kurt? There's nothing. Someone did what I had to. Sounds extraordinary that she only got away with some scratches, considering what she got wrapped in. She's a lucky girl. Can't say that has always possessed strong spiritual power. That'd be why the demon set its eyes on her. I see. She's there a lot, the poor thing. So she'll be okay. She has her nights and shining after all. That she does. Get a little heartbreak over here. For the situation, I can't really blame him. Oh, I just knew it was the right move to have him work in disguise. What's everyone going on about? Dense ass Kurt. Hello, Micah, you with us or what? What? What's going on with you? I'm really out of it recently. Holy cruise because I have to pull out my eyes so hard. Why has Idios forsaken me? That's not an alert. Think she's sick? Wait, I think about it. See, Swin's little sister. I got a coincidence. Either way, you should be proud of yourself. You did well. That was correct, Katina. I'm not a total hottie. Oh, I think I should turn out all right in the end. What do you need?
Spring, the season in which yet another boring year begins. But it looks like my luck is alive and well. So much for drudgery. The future's now as wondrous as a violet in bloom.
Okay. Going on Home Sweet Turf, which is, it says Wazy and Wald. Oh, wait, I'm doing?
Seriously, how did things come to this? We've drawn quite the crowd, haven't we?
I don't give a damn about that. But I know this is a good opportunity. Been a while, Wazy. Let's find out which one of us is stronger. Once and for all.
Well, I can't deny that now's a good chance to get some closure and settle things. I won't hold back. Come at me with everything you have.
Yeah, damn straight I will.
Who am I playing as? Alright, I think 4 days have passed since Crossbow's freed from the former IDF. CPD and CGF are still restoring order to the city. Wait, is this before or after the finale? I missed the day on that one. Oh, excuse me. You're good, kitty.
All units, split up and get to work. There's still plenty of fallen debris to clear, residential district included. But remember, civilian safety is always our top priority.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry for the train in the background. Probably should just mute through that.
What's that sound? And where have I heard it before?
Oh, that train was so loud. I kind of always assumed that Merkabahs were always in stealth mode, though. And we're here. It's only 4 days. As it better if you think it's been 4 months. Still take this over those IDF jackasses any day. Without a doubt. Just unfortunately never got a moment to rest during the operation. Yeah. So is this post the finale? I can get heat for making her deal with the Archbishop, are you? This supposed to be your job? It was. She's the one who offered.
After finding things are going post-liberation day, your plan starts tomorrow. I'll take care of that at the cathedral while I take it easy. Well, since you've been at home, right? Make the most of it. Some real perks to having a competent squire. So you can follow a stellar example, Wald. You realize how much I have to cover for you behind the scenes so you don't get an earful? But more for Abbas than you. You're not the first to say that. So things are also again, Real depends at that. I'm gonna lord it over them this time. That's how it's gonna be. So you considered. Nothing's official yet. I consider it as a stark improvement for impossible like before, though. Perhaps Swords of War made people realize they want to wake up to a better tomorrow. Why did that just swallow them? With that said, may a free day begin. So we meetings currently evening, however, so not going too wild. Real rich coming from you. Later. I think this is before the signing ceremony. I'd have to guess. I mean, I don't know if they spoil shit after. Crap, I lost. You were close. Don't want anything's too tempting for its own good. Only cool hours ahead. Stuck at gambling, huh? Whatever. No use crying now. Let's get wasted, vessel. Did I say? Sure, it's been a while since we got out. Sharon still in hiatus now, I think. Oh, it doesn't matter, go. As long as I'm with you. I missed you, Wazy. And you are, huh? Oh, it's nice we can... Yo, Wazy? You're back? In the flesh? Long time no see you guys. Long time no see you, but... Should've told you we're coming back. I know. My bad. Things been a real mess in the operation. I need to take us to work. Is she work? Oh no. I have to meet this lovely woman here my hosting days. Sure. Nice purely coincidence. What was the fate? Can I keep flush, Wazy? To be a random NPC next to Wazy. Smoother than silk. Work that presser? You think you sneak away and hang out with us? We're about to grab lunch. Actually, sounds perfect. If this is where we part ways, Mademoiselle, you take care. Really? Got just like that? The colder you are, the hotter you get. He wasn't paying her. I'm getting paid, rather. This is what the damn uptender chick's looking like these days. Sure cleaned up the place. Hello, Wald. I'll you forever, Wald. Come on, Wald, let's take those blue bastards' teeth in. I know it's harder than the saber vipers. I have everything to face him now. Guess we'll grab it tomorrow and kill some time. Well, that you, Wald? Oh. Look at Dino. He came back. It's really you, right? I said you attacked us that night was you, but that can't be right. Tell me it's not true, Wald, please. Then I. Yo, it's legit Wald. When the hell did you get back? Yeah, what's with the glasses? They look like shit on you. Looking off. Hey. What are you into? We're just thinking of getting some food. Long left solid, but since we got here, why don't we hit up Koki for some ramen? Koki? That's the idea. Let's go do it. I'm back, ma'am. She looks cute in that uniform. Very good. Did you finish your science this morning? Yes, ma'am. How's the situation in the tower? Is there any things at the moment? So I expect there's an empire here right now, too. Things aren't going to be settling down anytime soon. I see. So it's an international problem. So we can just let them work, I suppose. I think surely you would liberate Crossbow again. Sure, father's cheering fast from Adios' side. A great deal to your father, the late First Lieutenant Osmo Seeker, with the help he gave me in early days in the force. Tried to affect us and resolve to change this organization. I see. I'm so happy to hear you say that. It's not often that you're willing to talk about yourself like this. I suppose you're right. Is that the your father? Never once gone easy on you. But you wanted to grow into a fine young woman, marrying as well and overcoming many an ordeal of your own. Sure, I must be very proud of you. I certainly am. Thank you, Commander.
There's changes on the horizon for the Republic Empire. CGS role will continue to be important here. So I'm counting on you, Second Lieutenant. Of course, Commander. I hope I won't let you down. Hello, Francine.
I figured you must have been busy, so I made you lunch. Wanna go eat together?
Honestly, you guys are out alone here, don't you? That's what I mean. Her morning is done. Run along with your sister. Sure. Thank you, Commander. Aw. I'm so glad that she recovered well. Not that I think they would mark her. They also can't commit to killing people, so there's that. Huh, do you run around that district these days? Yeah, I just read the old place we used to hang out and renovated it. Said we demolished all the gentrification going on. We cut a deal and got the rights to the deed. Straight to the point. Yeah, husband has a amount of debt in the process. Luckily, all our customers have been coming to support the new place. Business is doing half bad. You don't say. It's good to hear. Doesn't know, dear, the heart wonders to see little birdies spread your wings and fly. Look who's talking. Can't really tackle all the work your crazy whatchamacallit church organization has you doing. You still get crossed out, help with the big mission. Oh, you big time. So I can turn right back on my second home. I don't know where I was born. Where most of my good memories come from. I forget the days I spent with you guys. That's us. Time we spent messing around with Wald and his crew. Oh, come on, man. You're gonna make me cry. Yeah, if only Alice could have joined us. Trust me, this is all you just as much. Sadly, his hands are full of trains and congregations newbies. Both come visit the bar when your work slows down. Cocktails are like power too. You have to try one. Yeah, even Kind's made a point to stop by every time he's in town. Does he worthy if he looks forward to them while taking time off for the medical internship in Reverie? As for Hazel, yeah, I know. Having a boring desk job with a train coming doesn't fit me, huh? There you are. Long time, Wazy. Can hardly believe you're back. I think you'll be able to make it here so soon. We thought your job would keep you busier. It did, bust my ass once I got the memo from you guys. Could have given me a little more of a heads up. Anyway, welcome home, Wazy. Thanks, good to be back. Hey. I need to brush my hair. It's like still wet, so it's like half flat. Slurp, slurp, munch, munch. Yo, really make this stuff yourself, Koki? Sure did, how is it? Sorry, just order. Real talk, ain't nowhere as good as the old man stuff. Not bad, never anything that tastes like this. For real? Hell yeah. I guess it's fun to work in the mine all day. Try my here for lunch a lot since the Circus Center's so close by. Jed and Slash make it over from the Uptown District a lot too. You don't say. Damn, let's change while I've been in Arteria. Guess what you guys said about what happened a few years ago. Never letting it go. Never. Just remember how painful it was, how pissed off I was. It's because of what happened back then that we got to where we are now. It'd be like wiping all that out if we were ready for it now. Change everything. One thing that's gonna see, the last thing we want to see is you grovel to us. Really going up, Dano? He's right. Just Slash would say the same thing. Could have told you what you do for the rest of your life, Wald. And that, I think we're all fine with things being like they were before. Well, damn. What was I thinking? About to embarrass myself. Keep the grub and booze coming, old man. Bring enough for all of them. Drinking with me, Koki. Ooh, Wald's buying. Is that alright with you? Try yourself tonight. It's back to training first thing tomorrow. Oh, because it's on. Aww. Oh, thank you, friend. That was seriously scrumptious. Glad you liked it. Wow, though. Good ask for a better weather day, huh? Yeah, just fun and pleasant all around. It's so good to relax in the city like this again. Isn't it? Why are you so close? Because I've been going to spend 10 lessons so long. Forever playing the part of the younger sister, I see. It's been a long, hard journey getting this far. Glad we never give up. Well done for running out these past 2 years. Yeah, you too. Isn't that a surprise? Wazy! Back in Crossville, huh? Yeah, got something to take care of here. So good to see your sisterly bond can use to stand the test of time. You betcha! I see you got some friends in tow. Care to introduce us? We just ran them when we were walking around, so to come with us. Of course, I'd want to go on a date with you. It's a freak to let loose. Woo! Not really gonna be a sausage fest, you know. Time was work for the day already, too, so I'm all for letting my hair down. What's Wazy? Now you're back in Crossbow? He's been one of the gold gangs here, right? I always kind of admired him. He's just catching all the girls. Shouldn't say everybody's standing out so much. You know, we visiting about church now and all. It's fine. Not on the job right now. You don't have to get in the way of the restoration efforts. Don't worry. Leave you guys to it. Ciao. Wait a... He's just that charismatic. Why does it have to be so irresponsible? It's not coming about things that were changing, though. It's like the kinds of moments you're fighting to bring back. Guess that's one way to put a positive spin on it. Well, ready to work. I'll see you later. Same here. See you. Fucking train after train. Noel couldn't help but feel apprehensive all of a sudden. Maybe she had no idea why she felt that way. She tried to brush it off and focus on work. The restoration efforts came first, she told herself. Why wasn't getting with the people they used to be? They wouldn't start causing trouble now all the times, right? What's a little squabble, you know? What's a little fight? Who cares, right? Oh. Yo. Thank you. That's fine. Thank you. What at the gang? How it's going? I just hang out like old times too? You could say that. Guess you took your reunion to some high-end restaurants. But of course, Elise only just let us leave. I was supposed to. You could have invited us. We're just walking around and drinking ourselves stupid. Sorry, missed your chance. Like these don't want to smell your sweaty asses anyways. Picking a fight? Sounds like you boys had your own brand of fun. I'm glad. How's it you acting like such a sap? Hey, it's a great idea. I need a drug stand now. How about some section drinking some more in the park together? Sounds like fun. I'm in. See here, but Wald, what's the glasses? They look dumb as hell on you. Say for someone else to say it. Should see him falling over like we're eating ramen. It's hilarious. He's gonna get a laugh out of us, Wald. How you fucks think you give me shit, huh? Well then, how do we get those snacks? Yeah, let's go. Aww. That's so cute, though. I love this. So I think it's time for today. Handling communications with the commander and police force from here. So, rest for tomorrow. Thank you. So is this here? May I ask a question? Certainly. I'd say this for a while, but, you don't need to thank us. There's your officer. We're simply following orders. That is true. Understood, then. Thank you for the Return to Valkyrie, then. Until tomorrow. Unreal to your officer. Take a few pages out of the first lieutenant's book. God, I'm getting bumpy, Noel. Let the commander down. After she put all her trust in you. This is doing the best. He was working hard over in the Empire. Heidi's back too. She'll make games so we'll be proud the next time we're together again. What? For real? Those kings? Yeah, they're back in Crossbow. Oh, did I choose? Oh, I said they were kind of cool. Let's go take a look. No, I was like, bro, what's going on? Gang activity? I'm getting a bad feeling about this. Noe! What's up, friend? You seem frazzled. We kind of emergency over the harbor. It's Wazy and Wald. What? Ah, they're fine. I was sort of drunk looking off made an unfortunate comment during the little party. By the way, who do you think's stronger, Wald or Wazy? So it was enough to freeze everyone present in place. It's like that the two former teenagers and their former swords regained the passion left behind as they ventured into adulthood. The argument gradually heated up, but everyone present knew that strength wasn't something that could be settled with words. All those left to settle things the simplest way both groups know, just like the old days. Time out, Wald! Get this, Wazy. This guy's one of used to lead the street gangs way back when. Who do you think is stronger? Cause got this.
Seriously, how did things come to this? We've drawn quite the crowd, haven't we?
I don't give a damn about that, but I know this is a good opportunity. In a while, Wazy, let's find out which one of us is stronger, once and for all.
Well, I can't deny that now's a good chance to get some closure and settle things. I won't hold back. Come at me with everything you have.
Yeah, damn straight I will.
When did he get a sword? Or does he just have a sword now that he's like a Templar?
You two are too old to be acting like this. Don't you realize how much trouble you're causing for the entire neighborhood?
Holy crap! Jack put you both down in a single move. Is he the strongest after all? Who? Me? What? Well, of course, don't try to know you. Can take my afternoon from one single afternoon, can I? Just wasted. So Wazy and Wald's brief return came to an end. Being corralled by Scarlet, both received a scolding from Archbishop Wald. As for Noel, her display strength was going to make her somewhat of a legend among the former delinquents of the city. Aww. Oh my god, I should have done that earlier. I wanted to growl lock at this whole fucking game. I just got one from doing the first half of the 4th stratum because I'm not allowed to go past the 4th half right now. I'm gonna pull up 3 and 9 so we can read it. So give me 1 second to get that up. So if you go to the title screen, you can read 3 and 9, which is super helpful. I'm glad that they added that to the title screen. So we're gonna sit down and I'm gonna read it with you and with this on screen so that way you guys can kind of read it yourself. It's really long, so we're gonna be here for like a hot fucking minute, and if you're done with the video, you know, then you can log off. But you know, have fun, great, bye, love you. But we're gonna read this now. So chapter 1: The Butler and the Lady. A single passenger ship of prodigious size lay anchored in a port town in the northeast of the Principality of Reverie. Extravagantly crafted from top to bottom, a single glance was enough to discern its intended clientele, the privileged few among society's upper crust. True to appearances, the passengers boarding the vessel that day most certainly fit the bill, each smartly dressed and adorned with conspicuous opulence. Even among such guests, however, 2 stood out. The young lady possessed a regal air, and the butler at her side. Judging from the dress, behavior, and linguistic register, they suited the setting to a prim and proper tea. The single factor that set them apart from the other guests was their ages. Neither looked to be much older than 12 or perhaps 13 years old, making them mere children in the eyes of most. Just one moment, my lady. The young butler labored to keep pace with the young lady as he dragged a large suitcase behind him. Despite this, she continued to stride forward, not slowing her pace in the slightest. Exhaustion creased his weary brow. His attire was proper, as befitting his station, but his unkempt hair, grown out long enough to completely obscure his eyes, was another story. On top of that, everything about his demeanor screamed that he was timid and weak of spirit. "Snap to it, you dullard," the young lady brusquely shouted, now several paces ahead of the struggling boy. "If you can't make those legs move any faster, I'll cut them off and feed them to the hounds." She continued to increase her pace, while assailing her butler with an unending string of contemptuous words. Her arrogant, haughty demeanor stood in stark contrast to the graceful appearance. Dressed in a lovely black frilled dress, her blue eyes shone like a pair of sparkling sapphires, and her twin pigtails curved slightly in perfect arcs. Most eye-catching all, however, was the 50-reach stuffed bear she held close to her chest. It was large enough to draw attention, to look out of place in the arms of a girl such as her. Please forgive me, my lady." In response to the girl's tirade, the boy miserably sputtered excuses and breathlessly pled for leniency as he summoned his remaining strength to pick up the pace. After a not insubstantial trip, the two finally arrived at the ship's boarding gate. "May I please your invitation and boarding passes?" The crew member worked the gate and smiled politely. Up close, the ship was even more opulent, a prized possession of the Verne Company. Its main route was between Reverie and the Calvary Plug via Lamelin Bay. For this particular trip, the entire ship had been reserved by one Haldor Barn, a wealthy merchant from Calvert. Passengers hoping to board required both a standard boarding pass as well as an explicit invitation from Mr. Barn himself. However, as each invitation included the room information for the guest in question, the boarding pass was strictly formality. "Great." The girl called the boy by name and gestured with her hands, implicitly ordering him to present their credentials. "Yes, sir, lady, what do you require of me?" the boy asked, completely failed to grasp his employer's unspoken instructions. "You cannot cuss like this, dance, you stupid worm," she snapped. "I'm sorry, lady, beg your forgiveness." Counting for the young lady's vicious glare, the boy started and stammered 1,000 apologies. "Sign invitation and the boarding pass now! Right away, my lady." The boy began busily rustling through the contents of the suitcase, practically searching for the requisite papers. Yet his haste quickly proved to be his downfall, for no sooner that he located the pass than a sudden gust of wind blew past, tearing the paper from his hand. "Oh no!" he exclaimed. The boy externally threw his arms out, showing the physical limit, but his efforts were in vain. The rovers floated down to the bottom of the harbor, coming to rest gently on the water's surface. As though that wasn't bad enough, misfortune continued to hound the boy as a number of silhouettes swiftly appeared beneath the waterlogged document. Schoolfish jumped in the air, the splash, sprang water all about. Then he descended back to the harbor's deck, taking the hapless butler's boarding pass along with him. "Oh, no!" The boy's grief-stricken cry resonated through the harbor. Chilling with fear, he turned to face his master. For an eruption of anger, followed by a vicious tirade of abuse. Yet it did not immediately come. The girl simply stood in silence. She stared long and hard at the boy, face betraying no expression whatsoever. After what felt like an eternity, she spoke. This was the calm before the storm. The boy began spitting out apologies, tripping over his words as his voice grew weaker by the second, like a short-circuited radio warbling its death knell. His body seemed to shrink, and his shoulders slumped like a criminal awaiting judgment. Really useless. Her leg finally burst with a violent blast. Despite the ferocity of the explanation, she managed to save enough breath to launch a sharp kick at the boy in the same moment. The wild arm strike sent the boy flying further than the petite frame, which was as as possible. He seemed to hang in the air for a brief moment before resuming his journey downward off the edge of the pier, reaching a frigid as he broke the water surface with a splash. As soon as he returned his senses, began violently thrashing his throat, pleading for aid between coughing up mouthfuls of cold water. My lady, please help me, he begged, his thrashing grown more desperate and frantic. I'm going to find that passing me now, and I'll leave the water till I see it in your hands. But I can't swim, he growled as his head began to slowly seep in the surface. I'm well aware. Please, his words cut short as his lung filled with water, and the rest of his head bobbed below the surface. His thrashing ceased, and his stomach grew faint as he quickly plummeted downward to the bottom of the bay. The situation had reached an unacceptable level of risk. Several onlooking members of crew ran over to rescue the waterlogged butler. The moment the boy made out of the bay, however, the stone-aged girl tried to kick him right back in again. Miss, please, you must come down, the crew of the gate said, trying to pass by young Noel. How can we be so calm about this? Father's alienated town, so I'm here in this place. The important business discussion taking place in this ship that I cannot afford to miss. Nothing to discern someone's rank and competence. That's exactly what is going to happen. I'm given by a menacing glare so virulent it could have stripped the paint from the entire vessel. Tell me, Worm, you're going to take responsibility for me being unable to board. The boy was still coughing and violently spewing water. His already pallid face began to lose what little color remained in hearing those words. Feeling pretty low, the getting hand scented. Stemming may see invitation instead. They moved to inquire the request, but it stopped distracted by the girl's menacing scowl. She produced the invitation herself and roughly shoved it to the attendant. The attendant read the favor, then went to the list of names on the guest list. The invitation is for Baron Chris Reinhardt, who I can confirm is indeed on the guest list. I presume you two are his daughter and attendant. You presume correctly. I am Baron Reinhardt's eldest daughter, Celia Reinhardt. The gate attendant made a respectful bow for music. There be no need to further concern yourself with the matter of the boarding pass, Miss Reinhardt. You may proceed. Oh, we may. Chicken speaking. Since nature required approval from a higher compelling. In this case, the gate attendant decided that swift action was the best way to provide a peaceful solution to the rapidly worsening situation at hand. I need that water. Seems as though you left to ride another day, you useless swim. Count yourself lucky. Come on the ship, sistering icy daggers at her butler. He dragged their luggage on after her, still wheezing and dripping wet from the events of the past few minutes. He effusively expressed his gratitude to the gate attendant as he passed, receiving a sympathetic smile and a few words of encouragement. Having finally boarded the ship, the two young twos immediately headed for the room. Their faces quick, as though they already knew the way, and not a single word exchanged between them as briskly walked in the halls. Once they arrived, they gave him a quick yet thorough search, virtually complete. The girl broke the silence, suddenly speaking a sleepy drawl. Her eyelids drooped and showed a mighty yawn. I traced her in the tense, high-handed young lady from a few months ago. I'm beat-ass. I think I'm gonna take a nap. Oh, shit. Sorry. On second. Okay. She tossed her plush bear into the bed and immediately launched herself after it. She dove under the covers with childlike exuberance, befitting someone her age, perhaps even younger. In contrast to her whimsical new demeanor, the man remained completely expressionless. Don't you guard now. The real mission begins now. So his suddenly calm and tense. As he brushed aside his bangs, still wet from the frigid water of the harbor, his now visible eyes were cold and sharp. Beneath that, however, was a gleam of hunter fixed on its prey. Each and every region of his body exuded composure. That flustered, stammering butler from before was nothing of a memory. The girl's transformation was strange. The boy's sudden show of personality was something short of jarring. Wasn't really your best work out there, S. Far from it. She spoke nonchalantly, rolling on the bed as she critiqued the boy's performance. He remained silent for a moment before speaking, almost though he agreed with her assessment, at least in part. Didn't affect the mission. But you overdid each and every reaction. It's not easy to match that without seeming unnatural, you know? You hammered up like that and made us down more than we needed to. Oh my god, I keep doing that. There's like no way to go back. I need to like chill. Decided to grow, the girl's half-hearted tone took the bite out of her criticisms. The duo's truest personality, the upper-class young lady and her bumbling butler, make a spectacle of the boarding gate with simply elaborate pageantries, acts necessary for getting entry to the ship and nothing more. Any other method of infiltration might have raised suspicion, endangering the mission. Thus they chose to board under false identities. They had made clever use of the organization's info network beforehand, ascertaining which of the invitees would be unable to attend. Armed with this bit of intel, they created their personas. The invitations required boarding were printed on high-quality paper, but ultimately deferred only in name. Using the same letter for each invitation was the logical choice for a merchant looking to pinch me or whenever possible. Logical or not, that particular decision had made the necessary forgery a walk in the park. The boarding pass, on the other hand, was a different story. The Verne Company was known to employ cutting-edge technology to prevent forgeries. Attempting to use a fake pass to board was an act occupied by a considerable amount of risk. That's why the two engineered the dramatic performance that took place at the boarding gate. The boy dropping the boarding house was, of course, an intentional act. Both of us were an untimely group of fish were the result of battle. The girl would keep heading our stuff bare. Clever method she used many times in the past to cast arts unnoticed. That's really smart, actually. All the hard work had paid off. The infiltration had gone exactly as planned. So yet another successful operation with the boy, known as 3 of Swords, the girl, known as 9 of Swords, and their life as professional assassins. Chapter 2, 3 and 9. At its scheduled time, the ship departed. As he watched the shoreline train in the distance, 3 of Swords spoke in a cold, flat voice. Tucker penciled arm. Have you pinpointed enemy position? Is the route prepared? Yep, good to go. The young girl known as 9 of Swords stood behind the boy, answering a relaxed drawl, the polar opposite of her partner's icy tone. Having dispatched with the organization, the two led the groundwork for the mission, the assassination of the man responsible for this voyage, the wealthy merchant, Haldor Barn. The organization was not particular about how they dealt with their targets, whether in swift silence or via raucous violence. The only concern was to make sure they did not draw the attention of the Brace Guild or the local police. As a hard rule, 3 and 9 would always select the most efficient method available to them. In this case, the risk was to prevent the ship from arriving in Calvard with Haldor still on it. Haldor had strong ties with the Heiwei, a sizable criminal organization in the Republic. Should he safely make its destination and take refuge in their protection, his extraction and subsequent elimination would prove an exceptionally difficult task. Aside from the engine area, the ship had 3 main floors. The lowest has a considerable number of general passengers. Naturally, this is where 3 and 9's room was located. The second floor contained a hall used for parties, banquets, and meals, as well as other special events. Finally, the third floor featured luxury rooms prepared specifically for noble use. At present, however, the entirety of the floor was reserved by Haldor, who was enjoying the comforts of the room in the farthest back. 3 and 9 put their equipment and tools in order and then sprang into action. Their plan was to head to the hall on the second floor, but not before leaving a little gift on the first. The hall would be packed with passengers once dinner service began. Given that only the ultra-wealthy and those with noble status were in attendance, the meeting is likely to be suitably extravagant. Yet once they arrived, they found that Haldor was not elected to appear, an act of caution perhaps. As expected, however, and the two took their planned positions in the central area of the room. It's time. There's quiet murmur was immediately followed by the din of an explosion from the floor below. Passengers began to panic, but their fear slowly subsided to uneasiness as security personnel deployed and headed to the first floor to investigate the situation. In truth, the explosion had been caused by a small makeshift bomb that 3 and 9 had planted in an unoccupied room. The blast wasn't particularly powerful, so enough to ignite a number of small fires in the area. The walls alerted security. In that regard, the bomb had more than served its purpose. The plan was progressing apace. Guess I'm up, Anthony used her lackadaisical drawl. She gathered up the edges of her skirt in her hands and gently slid it back and forth, resulting in a number of black spears thudding down to the floor. A series of muffled pops reverberated through the hall, heralding a cloud of smoke and tear gas that quickly filled the room. What's going on? I can't breathe. My eyes! Why aren't they tearing up? The gas wasn't especially strong and would have no lasting effect on the victims. However, it's more than enough to send the already uneasy group of elites into a full-blown panic. 3 and 9 began the next stage of their plan, the infiltration of the third floor. Currently, the bulk of security was on the first floor, meaning they had to pass all the way through the second in order to respond to any emergency at the top of the ship. There are large numbers of panicking passengers on the second floor wouldn't stop security for long, but the situation was still by 3 and 9 all the time they would need. So far, the assassin's plan had gone flawlessly. Still, that didn't mean killing Haldor would be easy once they had reached him. The two hid themselves on a stairwell on the third floor and scouted ahead. Two more there. From what I can see, looks like I deal with. 9 shared her observation with 3 in a hushed tone. He silently nodded in acknowledgement. So 3 is Swin, by the way, and 9 is Nadia. One look at the men standing guard ahead was enough to tell them they were neither typical passengers nor ship security. They were all well armed, and their common experiences practically carved in their hardened faces. Ex-Jaegers, huh? It's clearly been hired not to protect the general guest, but to personally attend to Haldor. Given this room was located in the very back of the ship, meant that the only way to reach him was through the battle-hardened veterans that currently barred 3 and 9's path. Avoiding a fight simply wasn't in the cards this time. I'll take lead. As she said this, Nadia began to casually walk forward. Her posture relaxed. She made no attempt to hide her approach, and even when the guards heard her soft footsteps and turned to look, they didn't register as a threat, an advantage afforded by her candy-sweet exterior. "The lady, you're not allowed here without permission," one of the guards said in a gravelly voice. "Yeah, we know it's been time to answer, Lieutenant. It's an evacuation site. Get yourself back to your room." Oh my god, every time. That was a bit harsh, because they used to be Jaegers. The attitude toward 9 was almost amicable. She gestured toward Haldor's room. "But I want to go in there, pretty please." 9 was a man of spoiled noble act she had used to seek aboard the ship early day. It was probably as close to her genuine, sleepy intonation as she would allow during a mission. "You want to be such a Haldor, do you? Today ain't your lucky day, kid, because you sure doesn't let anyone in this room." "Is anything I do to change your mind?" Until as she spoke, her presence beginning to unnerve the guards. "Nope, nothing," one of them finally responded. "Oh, I see. That's really bad." So I heard, and I didn't really seem especially disappointed in the response. Taking her flush red hand, she suddenly thrust it out in front of her. There was a flash of silver and a loud "pff," followed by the thud of 2 of the guards collapsed to the ground. Their necks had been pierced by 2 needles, which had been tipped into poison. Specialty of 9's and hers mainstay in combat. Ordinarily hidden within the bear, the needles could be used to quickly disperse Veritas poison through a target's body when thrown at vital point. 9 would typically carry up to 10 types of poisons, each suitable for a different situation. In the circumstances, she would use poison-free needles on occasion. This time, Nadia had struck the 2 bodyguards with a neurotoxin that robbed the body of its ability to freely move. While not strong enough to kill it, it was definitely enough to immobilize someone of substantial size for a good while. What the? Having sensed something amiss, one of the remaining bodyguards down the hallway turned to see what was happening. Out of the corner of his eye, he spotted a figure quickly moving in his direction. Before he could figure out what was happening, however, a blade flashed before his eyes, and he was on the ground, incapacitated along with his comrades. The swift takedown was executed by 3. He wielded a long sword with a thin blade that appeared sharp enough to cut the very air around it. Its construction resembled that of a traditional Eastern sword, albeit with a straight blade instead of that typical curved one. Its design was surprisingly ornate, and curiously enough, it seemed to be missing a hilt guard and part of the blade near its base. The 2 remaining bodyguards had seen what had happened, and had each already dropped into fighting stance. No matter how youthful their points, it was clear they had no intention of pulling the punches. "You little bastards!" yelled one as he began swinging his axe downward. 3 met the attack with his sword, locking the assassin and the bodyguard in place. Seeing an opening, the other bodyguard drew his sword and attempted to stab 3. While still holding the axe in place with his right hand, 3 quickly drew a short sword with his left, using it to deflect the second bodyguard's attack in one clean motion. The short sword resembled the long sword in nearly all aspects but length. Unlike the long sword, it had a hilt guard. However, it seemed incomplete somehow, as though it was missing a piece. It's much less of an offensive weapon than a long sword, but being used mainly for defense. Despite his best efforts to fend off the attackers, it seemed as though 3 would quickly be overpowered. Even for him, it's difficult to hold back the weight of an attack from a grown man with only his right hand. So he did so quickly, 3 intentionally stopped pushing back on the axe, deflecting it harmlessly to his side. With his remaining strength, he whipped around his face, staggering assailant, and plugged his short sword deep into his torso. The other bodyguard quickly launched a flurry of attacks, but 3 pushed the critically wounded axe wielder into his comrade. The sword-wielding bodyguard was momentarily taken off guard, and 3 capitalized an opening, cutting him down with both swords. Right, that should be. He tried to notify 9 that the guards had all been dispatched, but as he did, he saw the door to the VIP room open behind her. Out stepped another ex-Jaeger. Weapon drawn, his sights set on attacking the defenseless 9 while her guard was down. Too much space separated them for 3 to warn 9 in time. He pushed us back here with all his might, but stopped his dash for a second. As did the final bodyguard. "My, you're sharp. I was wondering how long it took you to catch on." 9 turned lazily on his heel and cast a diverse of glass over his shoulder. Her expression remained unfazed as thin, red stripes appeared over the Jaeger's arms and legs, blood began trickling out like sanguine tears. "Better not move. Wriggle too much, you'll be leaving in more pieces than you arrived." Superman's made remarks a little more disconcerting and ghastly. The ex-Jaeger showed this was no empty threat. He truly couldn't afford to take another step. The cause of his painful predicament was a web of superfine steel threads surrounding him. Thanks to their special processing, the threads were roughly as sharp as the drawer of top-end kitchen knives. Not lay a trap inside the door, one that an unassuming person would have been hard-pressed to detect with the naked eye. An unfortunate soul who had tried to pass through the area with any degree of speed would have soon found themselves in the centerpiece of a grisly, blood-splattered tableau. Sorry if I pronounced some words wrong. The threads were connected to specially designed needles, and 9 used as their main weapon. Such sword was notoriously difficult to use and was rarely regarded as being sufficiently powerful enough to use as one of one's only means of attacks. While there were rumors of true masters who needed no other implements to eliminate the target, Nadia yet to attain such a level of skill with them. That said, she was still a menace in her own right, and a fiendishly clever master of traps. Besides, as the ex-Jaeger just learned, 9 tossed a poison needle at her immobilized foe with minimal effort, and her hapless victim collapsed to the floor. She turned her head to the side and noticed 3 staring at it. "What, is something wrong, S?" she asked, using the nickname she preferred to call 3 by. She would often refer to herself as In, which 3 took as a shortened version of 9, but when he spoke with 3, she would use S instead of T. She still had to be sure of her swords, besides the word being part of both their names, but had never bothered to ask. Nothing at all. 3 tersely responded as he turned to face the VA room door. Last, the pair stood in the room housing their target, Haldor Barn. Chapter 3, The Assassins and the Target. Inside, the room was opulence made manifest, the best of the best, enough to make the wealthiest nobles envious. In the center of its spacious layout, sat Haldor Barn, reclined on a sofa. He brought a glass of wine to his lips, as his features twisted in a wry, unpleasant expression. Absolute comments, such a simple job, yet apparently went completely beyond them. Mr. Barney fully grasped the situation. He'd given the order that no one would be allowed in, and there were now 2 children standing before him. Given the commotion outside, it had been easy to guess what had happened. Though their appearances made it hard to believe, the 2 standing before him were no doubt professional assassins, here for his life. Still, Haldor maintained his composure. He kept his realization hidden, refusing to allow so much as a hint of panic to creep into his features. Source of his confidence was a certain colossal machine that sat on the floor behind him. Its mere presence made the impossibly spacious room feel cramped. It towered over 2 yards in height, with 6 spider-like legs protruding from its body. Its humanoid upper half stood erect, with 4 menacing arms stretching out from it. The entire machine emitted an eerie glow, making for a most intimidating sight to behold. "Wow, that's a big one," Nan remarked, glancing up at it. "An archaism," they explained. I said their voices backwards at her. Immediately shifting to a battle stance. I don't know, my throat's so fucking dry trying to read. This beauty's a new favorite of mine. A rather fruitful find at a recent back alley auction I happened to attend. It wasn't cheap, let me tell you. But no, I didn't stop there. A man who doesn't do things by half measures. I paid a princely sum to have it outfitted with the most cutting-edge technology people. Mere well spent, in my opinion. I dare say it's enough fire to easily wipe an entire platoon of soldiers if I wanted it to. In fact, it'd be mere child's play. Barely able to contain his smug grin, Hunter looked like a boastful child showing off his expensive toy at school. So, the bones of just bounces in. As much as it's actually to protect you? Oh, a sharp bone, that's precisely correct, Haldor said gleefully. As long as I have my said, my safety is guaranteed. When I make to the Republic, I'll be untouchable. Little long laugh, his voice rising higher and higher, echoing endlessly throughout the gaudy chamber. Shockingly stupid. He really is an idiot, huh? Oh my god. Oh. The duo's comments weren't born from civil overconfidence. Even if they did somehow fail in their mission, even if Haldor did somehow manage to make it back to Heiwei territory, they had already been marked for death by the organization. They were presumed to the bitter end. To the last man, he had zero chance of survival. Attack! At Haldor's order, the Archaism lurched into action. He set aside some three, charging straight for him. Knight took opportunity to begin casting arts. Our partner specialized in close quarter combats. She was a force to be reckoned when it came to orbital arts. Dude, my throat is like killing me. She didn't start, Trevor. When the Archaism's arms rapidly folded out into a gun, the muzzle pointed in Knight's direction. Wazy light sprayed a hail of bullets out. Whoa! Not even get gunfire by a hair's breadth. But was forced to abandon casting her art. The Archaism focused its attention back on 3, who was busy fending off its melee attacks with his longsword. Knight sprinted to the other side of the room and started to cast again. Shane's aim was too adept, however, and she found herself unable to give it long enough to get an art off. Because their foes were equipped with a powerful arts detection sensor, allowed to identify incoming orbital attacks and counterattack before they could be launched. Forced to abandon her casting it again, Knight screwed up her face in frustration, sullenly gripped her plush hair. This time doesn't play nice. I quit. It's a fair point. Poison-tipped needles wouldn't have been particularly offensive against a steel-plating machine, and without the ability to cast arts, Knight found herself at a loss. He remained unperturbed and ready himself for another onslaught. I'm gonna grab a little shut-eye. Make me when fighting's over, okay? Knight said she flopped down on one of the room sofas, using her bear as a pillow. Nine, cut it out! I need you to stay awake! Three shot from the next room. Shut this. Nine didn't react at all. As she does, Darky has to disregard her as a threat, and fully focus attention on 3. Its forearms, and then she's gonna cast arts maybe. Its forearms transformed into a sword, a lance, an axe, and a gun, proceeded to launch a relentless string of attacks at the already overwhelmed assassin. 3 left out of the way as the machine's sword arm cut an arc through the air, only to then see the lance rocketing toward him. He narrowly avoided it, but his escape path was blocked by a mighty swing of the axe. Meanwhile, the Archaism had its gun trained in Haldor's direction. Even in the heat of combat, it prioritized protecting its master against any approaching threats. Swift movements and deft swordplay were the foundation of 3's combat style, but they're little use against such a powerful machine. The Archaism was simply too fast, and its attacks were both explosively powerful and aimed with deadly precision. Further, its 6 legs afforded perfect balance, and its multiple arms allowed it to launch attacks faster than 3 could keep up. To his irritation, 3 found his skill set completely useless against the metal monstrosity. Sure, he was better fit for the task than 9, but only by a slim margin. Regardless, he continued to fight, both blades flashing as he moved to intercept his foe. The sheer number of attacks coming at him forced 3 to focus entirely on defense. He parried, dodged, and deflected the relentless waves of strike, biding his time, waiting for the machine to leave an opening so he could strike with his longsword. The violence continued for some time. He had managed to land a number of blows to the machine's body and arms, which resulted in no more than a metallic twang as his blade was repelled by its solid metal armor. It's no use, child. Armor specifically commissioned. Your pathetic little butler knives don't have a snowball's chance in a Gehenna against them. Haldor's mocking tone grated on 3's nerves. It was made worse by the fact that it's clear he wasn't lying. 3's attack had been completely ineffective so far. Still, 3 had yet to suffer any wounds. Given how things were going, though, it was only a matter of time he was slowly returned. Analysis complete. Knight slowly began speaking. Apparently, I've woken up for a nap. Still lounging on the sofa, she continued, voice flat and more percent of her. Arms, joint 1. Down 5 for each. Legs, joint 2. Up 3 edge. Waist, rotation, axis center. Left side of chest, up 2 5th. Left 1/5. First respondent was not 3, but Haldor. You little wench, how did you do that? He was flustered, clearly shocked that 9 figured out the Archaism's structural weak points. 9 slowly rose on the sofa and rolled back to her usual draw. Slowly read her. I could tell by the sound. Takes a bit of concentration, though. Pure disbelief was etched into Haldor's face. 3, on the other hand, looked as composed as ever. He had known from the start what 9 was doing. He was simply buying the time until analysis was complete. Yes, now! Right. 3 regained himself from rush Archaism, his sword blade swift over, a veritable tornado of slashes and stabs. Each of his attacks hit upon one of the weak points that 9 had pointed out. He suddenly switched to his short sword and performed the same volley of attacks, hitting each point a second time, but the result was the same as before. Nothing save the same high-pitched metallic sound that rang out with each hit. It didn't appear that Archaism had been damaged in the slightest. Haldor's face down with laughter, relishing watching the young assassin struggle. What a joke! You swing those little swords until the palms come on, but you're never getting through that armor. All part of the process. Then a simple repiling in the air. 3 lined up his short sword with the empty section at the base of his longsword. 2 blades locked in place, becoming a single weapon, the sharp edges lining up perfectly. First glance, it's equal to the 2 were ever anything other than a single sword. Halder watched the process with interest, but then burst into a mocking laughter moment. Proud of your pocket knife, little boy? Do you honestly think that will be your ticket to victory? Truth be told, even in its combined state, the reach of 3 sword hadn't improved any, nor was the weapon sharper or faster. Slightly increased weight of the blade may have provided some increase in power, but certainly enough to break through the archaism's thick armor. Given the opponent at hand, the weapon truly seemed a little better than a toy. He chose to remain silent as the weapon did the talking. He swung at the weak point on the archaism's leg, the same spot he had targeted before. This time, however, the strike was followed by a loud explosion, and the archaism's legs flew across the room. The blast seemed to have come within the archaism itself, and was powerful enough to blow its limb clean off. At a glance, it seemed somewhat of a fire element art, but neither 3 nor 9 had appeared to have cast anything. Even if they had, the archaism's sensor would have surely detected it. What the? Halder stammered, his face twisted another shock and fear. Another swing by 3's sword, followed by another explosion. A second archaism's load sent flying across the corner room. What the hell is going on? Halder screeched, no longer trying to hide his panic. His tone quickly deteriorated from alarm to abject terror. This is no ordinary sword. 3 began to speak, his face devoid of expression. It's fully integrated with a battle ornament, forming a single weapon. Well, strictly speaking, so it's closer to ordinary ornament than a battle ornament. The location, time decision were complicated, as was the use of specialized ornament in conjunction with some automated processing. The end result was this instantaneous cast time, however. The wielder was skilled enough to be able to launch powerful art attacks without the need for any charge-up period. It was in his ability that the true value of 3's weapons lay. But having spread an enormous amount of damage from the rapid arch strikes unleashed on it, realized him into throwing sparks in all directions. Begins to dawn on Halder, the victory is no longer an option for him, and again desperately for a means of escape. Stop fighting, give me a now! He ordered the archaism in a shrill yell. Rick does his mission quickly returned to and began moving towards him. I don't think so, a lazy voice called out from across the room. Took a motion, its remaining spider legs had been bound with complex webs of steel thread, running immobile. This is the end. 3 quickly struck its remaining parts in rapid succession, resulting in explosion to their machine to pieces, littering its surroundings with burnt steel and charred up components. When the smoke had cleared, the room was so filled with broken parts it was more scrappier than sweet. Whatever. What remained of the archaism's body ceased all functions and collapsed, its chassis mangled beyond recognition. 3 definitely wove his way through the junk scattered at his feet, silently moving towards him. Stay back! Phil the squeak escaped Halder's throat as he scrambled backward, away from the approaching assassin. There was nowhere to run, however. His mission was nearing its end. He didn't feel happiness, or even relief. Took a step closer. Phil's sword suddenly grew heavy in his hand. He pushed something on the step. It's like they're encased in concrete. Slowly felt like it was desperately rejecting his advance, trying to pull itself away. Another step. That's how it always ended. All that remains for him to fill his role. Something but a tool. A machine. That's how it's supposed to be. He took one final step forward. There's no need to stare any deals you. Still, I figure at least deserve to know who's ending your life. To know 3, thought to himself, whose name to curse as you burn in the fire's gonna. I have 3 of swords. He plunges deep into Halder's chest. Plunges blade deep into Halder's chest, piercing the man's heart. I'm an assassin for the organization. At this point, the panic second floor had largely subsided. His guards were finally starting to move to the 3rd floor. Picking up on this, 3-9 quietly broke open the window and jumped through it to the sea outside. It's a good thing that mission was an airship. That would have made escaping way more of a pain, 9 remarked. Agreed. She was right. Escaping an airship would necessitate a specialized aircraft operation, as well as forcing the 2 to leap from ship to ship mid-air. It wouldn't have been entirely possible for the young assassins, though. Surely someone in the wide world had carried such an operation before. 9 stopped to call to 3 again, using a preferred nickname for him. He was a corrupt man, an evil man. 2 looked back to his ship. There was no need for the explanation between the 2. Yeah, I know. 3 said. He'd been thorough in reading through the mission dossier, and knew that 9 spoke true. Halder was a bastard through and through, one that performed all kind of horrible acts in the pursuit of Mira. His mere existence sullied the world, and his society was better off with him no longer a part of it. Not that it matters either way. When it came down to it, a hit was a hit. Target could be the person with the purest heart of the continent, or the scummiest bottom feeder imaginable. If assassination order came in from the organization, 3-9 followed it. That's how it always was. I guess. 9 went silent. She took something out from her plush bear and began blowing into it. It gradually took the shape of an inflatable raft big enough for one. 9 climbed aboard it and flopped down, once again using her bear as a pillow. I'm gonna catch another few weeks. Leave this part to you, K? S.K.? This part meant for 3 to swim them both to shore. The legs were just fine, to do yourself. His words, 3 felt treacherously resembling affliction in his heart. He and 9 had been operating together for over a year by this point. She was looking at him, and he sometimes found himself thinking more as a little sister than just his partner. The natural rapport aside, she also somebody he could truly rely on during the missions. Despite this, turn to the situation. He understood that even if 9 was his partner, even if he thought his little sister, could never let his guard down. He could never truly trust her. Chapter 4, 3 of Swords. They haunt me relentlessly, all the people I've murdered over the years. I've cut off their heads, carved their hearts from their chest, sliced their torsos right through the middle, but no matter what I do, army corpses continue to pursue me. I see them every time I close my eyes. The politicians, the nobles, the merchants, the rich, the powerful. Just leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone! I frantically swing my sword at them. I cut, bisecting them, slashing them apart, but they don't relent. Chunks of flesh and bone, viscera and intestines, lungs and brains. The ground is a writhing mess that comes crashing down on me like a gory wave, threatening to swallow me whole. Get away, get away, get away, get away! I try to escape, but they corner me again and again. My victims staring at me with hollow eyes, accusing me. How could you do this to us? How? To themselves at me, their decaying fingers gripping my neck, trying to rip the life from me just like I did them. Let me go! 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 I frantically thrash and struggle, but no matter what I do, I can't break away. Running blood and bile tricks in my body, dissolving my own skin. The wave finally swallows me up. I just want a normal life. I just want my humanity back. I woke from my nightmare, my breath short and ragged, my entire body was soaked in a horrible sweat. I fought back against the rising urge to vomit. And after completing mission was always like this. The difference was seeing one more face in the crowd. Yet after years, my disgust for murder has never been abated, even the slightest. No matter how much time has passed, I couldn't rid myself of the scars left behind by the terrible acts I had performed. Yet I had no choice but to continue. And I never nothing but tools. Our individual thoughts and ideals had no meaning. They were completely unnecessary. My existence required us a skillful capacity for murder and unquestioning subordination to kills we were ordered to. Entire existence boiled down to a singular point. To reject an order or to say it was a tantamount to suicide. The organization, to even speak its true name, was forbidden. It's a group of professional killers that exist in the shadows of society. Its core business is limiting marks, but its true objective likely lay elsewhere. As a low-ranking member, assuming the organization's weapon, there was no reason for such info to be shared with me. Most of the organization had served it since they were children. Children deemed to possess special potential were made to undergo combat instruction and exercise in a place known as the factory. The majority of children who enter the factory would never again see beyond its walls. I wonder if the factory is the cult. Like the cult was part of all of this. And able to endure the merciless training they were put through, it would become their tomb. The lucky ones who did survive, however, were officially recognized as entry-level members of the organization. Side with me, forced to abandon who I was when I first passed through the factory's doors at 7 years old. Anyone who dared utter their former name would be subject to severe punishment. There's no concept of individuality, life organization being nothing more than another tool in an arsenal. It wasn't until I graduated at the age of 10 I was given a name. It only served to solidify my status as a weapon, however. Our names, more like titles, are based on tarot cards. In my case, the moniker I received was from the minor arcana, 3 of Swords. It didn't have the slightest bit of humanity to it, better than having no name at all. Both the higher-ups and a small fraction of the very best candidates were given a name based on the major arcana. Everyone who survived training and made it and was skilled, but in terms of combat ability, the major arcana could run circles around the rest of us. Rumor had it they were even more powerful than top-ranked bracers. I left my room and peeked in the neighboring one. It seemed like 9 was still sleeping. It was time for my report, so I had out my own. Lower-level members of the organization generally operate in pairs. My partner is 9 of Swords, a girl 1 year my junior. 9 was a natural genius. She graduated from the factory in a single year, despite the fact that the average kid takes 3 to 5, even if they even make it to graduation without dropping out, that is. From gathering info to analyzing battle situations, acting abilities to infiltration tactics, she was top class on a multitude of fronts. That's nothing of her combat style, which made use of needles and thread, allowing her to control the field of battle and dominate her foes. All in all, her abilities were far better suited in assassinations than mine were. It's a bit awkward for us when we first paired up, but after working together for a year, I can honestly say she's the best partner I ever had, and the most reliable. At the same time, she was the person I need to regard with the most caution. The reasons that organization she was partnered to were twofold. First reason would help facilitate missions, but also force each partner to monitor the other. In organization, betrayals is swiftly returned with death. The tool is doomed to serve until it breaks. As such, we should be part of the organization the entirety of our lives. As a general rule, we were afforded no freedom. There did, however, exist special rules. If one were to sense the partner was scheming to betray the organization, they could sell them out to gain their own freedom. All you do is make your report, present sufficient evidence of suspicion, and then, if you're given the task of eliminating them yourself. If you succeeded, you were free. Something really meant resigning yourself to looking over your shoulders for the rest of your life. Organization had eyes everywhere. Anyone who wanted true freedom was better off waiting for the chance to turn their partner in. There was another problem, too. The worst of those would actually fabricate proof of the partner's betrayal in an effort to earn their own freedom. Thus, the person you regarded most cautiously was not an enemy you'd face on any mission, but the partner was always at your side. You had to entertain and accept the notion that you could be betrayed any time. Members did not turn their back on the organization. This was an absolute requirement for survival, and a lesson I learned very early on through personal experience. 3 years ago, I tried to escape. Well, so was more than I. At the time, I was partnered with another boy who was known as Ace of Swords. Ace was a year my senior. He was a pretty good guy, going well enough, and he quickly grew into an old brother figure for me. He wielded a giant sword with ease, one as long as he was tall. Why does he look familiar? He was about to try me and protect me. He wasn't Ace when it came to battle. In that sense, his name couldn't have been more appropriate. One thing Ace and I shared was contempt for the murders we were forced to perform. I can't remember how the idea of stealing the organization came initially, but do recall that neither of us objected to it. As I mentioned, the system was set up to prevent individual members from betraying the organization, as they could be sold out by their partner. For the best way around that was to simply work together, escape the organization as a team, with the objective decided on, begin planning in earnest. We decided we need to execute our plan as far away from other pairs of assassins employed by the organization. Our plan went well enough. We entered Airborne, thinking it's considerable distance from normal operations, but we could enjoy a certain degree of safety. This was a severe misjudgment on our part, though. The organization had theirs as well. We were approached by other pair of assassins twice, both times ended with combat. We managed to fend them off, however. Ace and I were partners for a reason. We fought well together. The third time, however, It was our overseer paying us a visit. He said that his power was overwhelming, wouldn't do it justice, so try to fight a force in nature. They managed to escape with their lives, suffering heavy wounds in the process. When else to go? Put together in a cave, conscious fact that our next encounter with the overseer would surely be our last. There's nothing more to be said in the situation. For what felt like an eternity, passed the time in silence. Hey Ace, Ian speaking, believe the last conversation we've ever had. What's up, buddy? Just want to say that? All things concerned, I think everything could have went a lot worse. What's that supposed to mean? He struggled through the pain to force a little smirk at my comment. Don't get me wrong, I had plenty of regrets, but still. Ace waited in silence for me to continue. Being a child this time? Well, it's made life so much better, Ace. We're afraid to meet us here. Montana events in a lifetime is just another tool. The fire flickered. Our shadows danced on the cave wall. Finally, Ace spread the signs to me and whispered, 3. Thanks for everything, man. You too, Ace. Thank you. I had what I needed to say. I felt that if our opponent was to rat the man, at least it would give my whole soul to the battle. But then... That's how you feel, Ace started. Suddenly, ambience in the cave suddenly shifted. Like some horrible hallucination. Ace's icy voice pierced through me, chilling me to the bone. Then die, buddy. Die for me. Her reaction was slight confusion. She towards a clumsy way saying that we would face our deaths together. I turned to face him just to clarify, when I saw Ace's massive sword speeding down toward my head. I immediately dodged a strike into the ground where I'd been laying on the man who'd been shot in rubble. Ace, what are you doing? Can't figure it out? Forgot the final rule for those who betray the organization? Final rule. Hadn't forgotten it. Sam hadn't given much thought. It seemed irrelevant to the situation. Things clicked in place then. 2 partners betray the organization? The only way from the game forgiveness was to kill their partner and present the organization with the corpse. The defense role to force escapees in a sense of desperation, then push them into killing each other, taking care of the problems the organization didn't have to. So I shut this precisely what Ace was trying to do. I sure was happening, but all I could ask was why over and over and over. Ace, why? Why are you doing this? You know, buddy, that was the only bit of luck I had in my whole goddess damn life. I really don't want to be free together. To get our humanity back together? Then why are you? Because I need to survive! He said, his voice dripping down his head. I can't die like this! Screaming wildly, Ace swung and sword at me again. Some sort of used to save my life more times than I could count was now being used in an attempt to end it. Just die, you screamed! I tried to scream back, but the horrible knot in my stomach and the storm emotions in my heart ensured the only thing that came out of my mouth was a meaningless warble as I met his sword with my own. Engulfed in despair, I surrendered control to my instincts and engaged this enemy in combat as I would any other. I don't clearly remember what happened from there. All I know is I overtaken my rage and sadness and became a slashing, screaming monster. Finally brought to sense by the sound of Ace's body collapsing to the ground. So I managed to survive. How I won back my positions with the organization's tools. That's what I've been ever since. This game was a deadly flare that laid bare my inadequacies. I still hadn't given up on winning back my humanity. Like down I was going to trust anyone else ever again. Valid. Chapter 5, The Overseer and the Report. Ugh. The town was practically empty. The first rays of dawn were only just beginning to pierce the dark sky above. Stepping out of the inn, 3 inhaled deeply, filling his lungs with chilly air in an effort to dispel his drowsiness. The town, known as Luzent, was located on the border of Calvard and Romaferia. 3 and 9 would often undertake missions in both countries, making the centrally located town a perfect base of operations. Hi, babies. East of the town was an official border crossing into Calvard. In stark contrast, westward lay a mountain road only known to select few. It was a treacherous path, to be sure, but also one that facilitated... Can you not puke on my desk? You good? You okay, baby? You alright? You okay? Yeah. You good. It was a treacherous path, to be sure, but also one that facilitated entry into the Republic without the need to go through official channels. 3 headed the designated rendezvous point, a small hill surrounded by weathered boulders. The site was deep in the mountains and therefore free of unwanted eyes. There, he found a black silhouette waiting for him. It was a man hidden in the shadow, wrapped in a tattered black cloak that obscured his body, his face and body both. Despite his bedraggled attire, his presence had an insurmountable weight to it, selling a promise or fear to anyone who laid eyes on him. Here to make my report, said 3. In response, the cloak figure uttered a single word, speak. This man known as the Overseer was one of the higher-ranking members of the organization. He's given the name of Emperor from the major arcana, but those who started referred to him simply as the Overseer. As a child, he watched over 3 and the rest of the organization's tools. He was the one who provided mission instructions and received the reports. 3 laid the details of the Halder mission to the Overseer. As he finished, the man spoke again. Next. Right, so recording 9 says, upon briefing, every member is required to report on the partner's activities. Each of the pair would separately describe what they did and what they observed their partner doing. Even the slightest discrepancy between the pair's report was regarded as suspicion. The objective behind this requirement was to instill with them fear. Fear that any plot they may hatch to betray the organization would simply make its way to the ears of the superiors. That's all, 3 said his finished report. Very well, Reverie said. We can start instructions for an expedition since they are ready. Understood. 3 turned to head back to town, but as he did, the Overseer spoke again, so more than a whisper. He was delivered with a weight that froze 3 in his tracks. Stop. 3 slowly turned and faced the Overseer. As always, his dark look completely covered his face. It's been 3 years now, and I've been designing more plans, have you? 3 felt a sudden chill down his spine. The Overseer stepping in gazed with powerful malice. There was no need for 3 to ask for clarification. He knew the Overseer was talking about his escape time 3 years prior. The Emperor had personally conducted many of the organization's purges of runaway members. As the very lives became threatened, many lower-ranking members were feeling themselves overwhelmed by fear, rather than powerless before the merciless Emperor. Thus, even within an organization or crew place in its own right, the Emperor had earned himself a reputation for his savagery. He was also the very same man who had tracked down 3 and aced an escape attempt. Had he already picked up on 3's new plan to escape? No, 3 found it so absurd, he taken every step with utmost care and prudence. Further, if the Emperor had seen some proof of Ring's wrongdoing, young assassin would already be dead. This was a test. 3 wavered in the size would mean his end. I never again attempted something so foolish. I'm a tool organization, nothing more. Sole purpose to take the lives of my targets. When he cast his eyes, his calculated and practiced manner of speech, his natural breathing patterns, 3 pulled off to perfection. Silence hung heavy in the air between them for a moment. Finally, the Emperor spoke. I do hope that is the case. The murderous presence faded from there, as did the tension that had been building in 3's chest. There's certain expectations riding on your shoulders, the Emperor said. I fully devote myself to meeting them. 3 said in the same practiced tone. He would once more to return to town, and was not stopped this time. He bowed it. Back in his inn room, 3 let out a sigh of relief as he collapsed in his bed. He didn't really have an exchange with the Overseer, but nonetheless, he felt completely drained. Without exception, each interaction he had with the Overseer was psychologically exhausting. This was to be expected, however, as he was indeed hiding his true intentions in the organization. In truth, 3 had been planning a second escape attempt. The past 3 years had been grueling, but did nothing to quash his fervent desire for freedom. If anything, his alter claims humanity had only grown stronger by the day. However, each day he saw his blood-drenched hands growing yet heavier with sin. He was a mere tool, human in physical form only. What few shards of humanity still remained in his heart appeared to be forever lost before much longer. He knew that dawn would be the day he finally stood into being little more than a device, one whose only function was assassination. Put simply, a cold-hearted monster. That was the terrifying future he dreaded above all else. I absolutely need to succeed this time. I need to get out. His plan had 2 requirements he absolutely needed to meet in order to succeed. First, he needed to avoid a direct confrontation with the Overseer. Second, 9 could not find out about his plan, regardless of partnership. Be careful to avoid even giving the impression that they longed for freedom. Of course, this meant that 3 would be forced to abandon 9. Soon to find his side through countless life or death situations. The girl was younger than he was, but for all her genius, there seemed something off about her. Nonetheless, whenever 3 thought about the moment he would pull the trigger and finally put his plan in motion, he would feel a strange sensation welling up inside of him. Strangely enough, it was a desperate urge to fill her in. A number of times when 3 had tried, actually. Before he could even get the first word out, however, remember the ace's sword speeding down toward him would flash through his mind. In the end, he always remained silent. I can't take this anymore. He always scares to find. I know what I have to do. There's no other way. 3 shook off the thoughts plaguing him and turned his focus to preparing for his escape. The first I can trust is myself. This thing went quickly, and before long, dusk began to settle in town. The day saw 3's diligence pay off at last. His final preparation had gone as smoothly as he could have hoped for. Time had finally arrived. He would set his plan in motion that night. Once 9 fell asleep, he would leave town via the mountain road. Once uncovered, he'd be traveling by car, and he'd already arranged for a rental to take him up north to a certain city. Once he arrived, he'd probably set out for Liberal via one of the international airship routes that regularly depart from the city. He had to decide what to do at that point. After that point, he had stayed a night or two in Liberal, perhaps head over to Le Mans. In any case, he needed to get as far from his current location as possible. Maybe on the lowest rung of the organization, and had little idea what went on among its upper echelons, but he was determined to show them all that he was capable of casting off the shackles they had bound him with. Caw, caw! His rising intonation was interrupted by a crow flying there. Made a few circles and flying on the table. What the? Taking a closer look at the bed, 3 noticed a specific crest adorning one of its legs. As he did, his face twisted and grimaced. It could only mean one thing. This was a method Overseer used to communicate. Now, he must be now. Haven't yet been an entire day since 3 had delivered his report. Briefing for the next mission, maybe? In his words, he was gripped by an indescribable sense of dread and anxiety. However much he wanted to simply ignore the summons, it was not a luxury he could afford. The only chance his plan of succeeding was to be able to put a good amount of distance between himself and his would-be pursuers before the Overseer realized what would happen. Were they to ignore a direct order, however, the organization would immediately recognize it as an act of rebellion, one that would inevitably lead to his death. Mentally preparing himself for another encounter, when he could not avoid, 3 set out for the meeting location. The rendezvous point was the foot of a small hill deep within the mountains. Same day he had been just that morning, in fact. There was no trace of the ominous, eerie stillness pervaded the place before, however. Bathed by the light of the setting sun, the weathered boulders seemed wreathed in brilliant flames from a distance. 3 arrived to find 2 figures already waiting for him. The first was Overseer, draped in the same tattered robe as usual. Thought occurred to 3 that it made the man look more like part of the Hermit Arcana than it did the Emperor. The man sighted a young girl, Quelle Chapter, 9. She was more or less the same as what she wore on Haldemerson, with a few alterations to make her function and mobile. Prince did not cause any alarm for 3. After all, being called to brief an expedition, it was only natural she would be someone as well. Something felt different, however. He could his finger on why, but anxiety gripping his chest. So you've read, Overseer said, as 3 approached. Yes, that was my task. This exchange was the same as it always was. What happened afterwards was decidedly not. Make your appeal. My appeal? 3 said slowly, the anxiety in his chest running. I received a report detailing your treachery from 9 of Swords. I don't, 3 stammered. Then I lost words. He had calculated each and every outcome that could potentially happen. Going his head time and time again. The worst one was now playing out right before his eyes. A wave of despair washed over him. Could this really be happening again? Had 9 betrayed him just like Ace? It wasn't possible, 3 thought. He hadn't told her a thing. Their relationship was strictly professional. You cannot underestimate trust her. Oh my god. That's just how partnerships in the organization worked. How could she have known? It didn't make any sense. It was some kind of mistake. She said to himself, knowing full well it was a futile endeavor. You can't talk yourself out of this, S. No. 3 of Swords. Oh, let me back up. Can't talk yourself out of this, S. No, 3 of Swords. I finally spoke, but usual student is already found. Said her voice was crisp, her eyes alert. She was kind of even with fair and showed 3. This is your ticket for an airship voyage to Liberal. When you book for noon tomorrow. So he felt the ground fall from under him. With his shock, a small part of him wanted to yell that the ticket was fake, that he had the real ticket. But to do so would be tantamount to suicide. Not getting speaking, as though directly responding to 3's unspoken questions. The ticket you have in your possession is counterfeit. So after the genuine while you weren't paying attention. Fresh from completing a mission that utilizes very same kind of forgery, so you now find himself the victim of the exact same trick. By the way, the name he used to acquire the ticket was Ryan's foe, a student of Jasper Kennedy, correct? 92. Same you using your false ID on missions last year. You've been playing this for quite some time, wouldn't it? Something in his life, 3 couldn't help but admire 9's Juna, strangely enough. 3 decided he wouldn't even try to come with an excuse. 9 clearly seen right through his plan. She's right into his mind, really. There's just one part he didn't understand. What was her duty to sell him out like this, even if she was a genius? He'd been so cautious to put over his plan. It all been laid bare, swimming without a trace of effort. How the hell does this happen? I take that expression to mean you're trying to puzzle out just how your entire plan is exposed, 9 said, a slight smile playing at the corner of her lips. It's clear that she was toying with him now, mocking him. You do realize I watched you the whole time. We've been partners, right? You're my only target, right? From day one? She was merciless, her words dripping with thinly veiled venom. Yes, I've been watching you 3, inspecting, observing. Her challenge was remaining patient and waiting for you to slip up and finally show your true colors. Been that way since Mom can be a partner. Oh, she's saying it. Sorry, it's hard to know who's talking. So he struggled to wrap his mind around what 9 was saying. The fact is, you did attempt to betray the organization. Even if you hadn't, oh no, I would have falsified whatever needed in order to ensure your demise. She didn't speak, leaving nothing unsaid, despite the Rixia's presence. With each word, he felt more and more baffled. He could understand her observing him to the degree that the job required, but where was this malicious hatred of hers coming from? She felt this way from the start? Why? The Eversea had been silent long, not let out a low diversive laugh. I take you have yet to figure out who she is, you mean? 3 could not for life of him figure out what it was supposed to mean. He looked over at 9, searching for some sort of clue. All he met was, however, was a glare of pure hatred, one that made him shudder in fear. He had never seen her look that way before. Do you remember Ace of Swords, your former partner? She gained before her voice gained a measured, deadly weight. The one you murdered? He was my brother. Drew's robe began spinning. He started to feel violently ill. His senses dulled. His mind went blank. It became hard to breathe as though he were being pulled to the bottom of the sea. The air crushed at his lungs by its unrelenting pressure. Now, after all this time, he can finally avenge his murder. Dree barely heard 9's words as his head swam with thoughts. Ace was 9's brother? She had known everything from the start. She'd been biding her time, hiding her true intentions from the moment they'd first met, always keeping a watchful eye for a suitable opportunity to rise, an opportunity to claim her vengeance. Dree stood there dumbfounded, as though he'd lost the ability to speak entirely. I see no need for you to spy with an excuse, the overseer said, reading the shock clearly written across Dree's face. All the facts we need, we purge an organization. Our per rules, your partner, and the swords will not end your life. In his own words, 9 stepped forward. If you wish for assistance in this task, he said, you will not be penalized. The world will remain innocent. The condition is you must be the one to deliver the final blow. Once you've eliminated him, allegations will be cleared. Though I admit that dealing such talent pains me. The reward, the right to one's freedom, gained by uncovering and executing a partner who betrayed the organization. The yearning for this freedom had dominated through his existence for years, and now he would be the one to gain it in exchange for his life. Allow me the honor of doing it alone, she responded. I'll avenge my brother's death with my own hands. She stepped forward, producing a number of poison needles from inside her bear. With a moment's hesitation, she launched them at 3. She drew a sword and battered the needles out of the air. Contacts had been drilled into him, dictated he closed the distance between him, and he didn't take much as a single step. His parry was purely reflexive, programmed in his mind through years of combat. He had no intention of truly fighting back, perhaps partially because he didn't want to hurt her. More than anything, however, it's because he knew there was no point in resisting. If he did manage to beat 9, he'd need to take on the Emperor afterwards, and he knew that it was a battle he had no chance of winning. So he simply accepted his fate was to die there, and then there was nothing he could do to change it. 9 pulled out roughly twice as many needles before and again launched them at her former partner. In response, he automatically drew a short sword and used both blades to swiftly deflect them. In 3's mind, the thought slowly began to sink in. This is retribution for killing Ace. 9 leapt at him, closing distance, and began attacking with even greater intensity. Someone like me, 3 thought. Someone as as a friend preserves his life doesn't deserve freedom. Someone like me doesn't deserve to live. 9 continued assault, attacking with both her needles and her thread. If it was an ordinary situation, there was no chance she'd be a match for 3 in close quarters fight. However, his heart was not in the battle, causing a significant shift in balance upon fight. Eventually, 9 managed to decisively gain the upper hand, successfully leaving her thread around 3's neck. I'll die for her vengeance, he thought. That's the only outcome that makes sense. Maybe that's the end I deserve. 9 dealt him fingers and still around 3's neck. This is the end. 3 knew what happened next. He closed his eyes, pushing away his silence, but the cold embrace of death did not come. Chapter 6, Nine of Swords. My mother died soon after I was born. From that point, it's just me, my older brother, and our dad. This is Nadia's story, by the way. As far back as I can remember, he was a monster. He took the mirror Mom left us and used it entirely for himself, bringing each day drinking away. He made no effort to put it to good use, to do anything that might help our family. When he was in a bad mood, the little safe haven we had was violently wrestled away. My brother acted more like a parent to me than Dad ever did. Whether at home or out somewhere, he always protected me. I really hated that house, but I always felt like it was bearable when he was there by my side. This didn't last for long, however. I was still quite young when the household ran out of money, and Dad decided to post to work. There weren't even many options for a child to earn much more, though, and even between my brother and I could barely make a scratch on the mounting debt. One day, my brother vanished, and Dad announced he had let him spread his wings. In other words, he had abandoned him. At this point, I stopped thinking of that monster as my family. In such an awful situation, I still had an idea that my brother would come back to me one day. Then my only option was to stay there until he did. 3 years later, I finally received a letter from him. He wrote that he was in a miserable place, that he was managed to stay alive. He said it's not applied to the same method, drilled their connection with him again. Eventually found he was being forced to work as a killer for a shouting society called the Organization. The things he said to do were awful, inhumane. Just reading his words, I could feel his pain as though it was my own. His organization was nightmarishly strict, and it was only thanks to his partner he was able to send me letters in the first place. My brother wrote a lot about his partner, describing his true friend, almost like a younger brother. It's the only topic where I saw his writing soften, where he seemed happy. Naturally, I found myself wanting to meet this person. That was impossible, and I knew it. Couldn't even meet with my sibling, let alone his partner in some secret assassin cabal. We continued exchanging letters like this for some time, but even that came to an end. The household ran out of mirror again, and I knew it was coming. I could tell it would soon be my turn to leave. I wrote my brother, telling him this much. He wrote back, telling me that he and his partner decided to skip the organization. I would sense from his words just how resolved he was to do it. He followed his declaration with a promise to come for me, to get me out of that hellhole of a home. What followed, however, the very letter, was a grim note. To escape silence and failure, I prioritize my partner's life over my own. Comes down to it, sacrifice everything to make sure Elise gets out of here. You can trust him. If anything happens, you can rely on him to help. That was the last letter I ever received from him. In the end, he never came back for me, and our dad kicked me out, just as I thought he would. Become a slovenly mess. From the look of it, he got himself addicted to some especially nasty substances, the kind that tend to quickly drain one's finances. I knew they were destroying him physically as well, but I stopped caring long ago. I was done with that disgusting scumbag I once called my dad. I was an intermediate to scare an opportunity to join the organization. As right as I was entering training that I learned of my brother's death. So he was killed by his own partner. So my world began to fall apart. I threw myself headlong in my training, not thinking of anything else. I was distraught, trying to escape reality however I could. I ignored everyone around me, even myself. I let my soul slip into hibernation and fully assume the role of the organization's tools. During the day, I would follow orders, not thinking of myself. Night would come, and I'd have nothing to distract me. My mind would be tormented by the thoughts of my brother's passing. The realization that I was now truly alone in the world shook me, as did the notion that my hands would soon be irreversibly stained with blood. Once the fear set in, there was no escaping it, and I gradually lost the ability to sleep properly. The body does have a limit, of course. Eventually fall unconscious for about an hour a night. 2 if I was really lucky. If I wasn't asleep, not really. It's far too shallow for me to physically or mentally recover much. The little rest I did was plagued with nightmares. Even after I had woken up, those bizarre, horrid sensations remained. A year passed like this with no improvement whatsoever. Despite that, I was able to graduate from the factory at an exceptionally fast pace. So when I finally had a chance to meet him, the boy had fought alongside my brother, his partner. She just finished his own re-education. A consequence of betraying the organization. As fate would have it, we were assigned partners. He was the one who stole my brother from me, so I resolved to despise him from the moment we met. I tried to keep a close eye on him, observing each and every of his movements. Feeling though, something unexpected happened. Perhaps all my pent up fear and exhaustion had finally blown. Perhaps it was just my instincts knowing the truth I'd been ignoring. For the reason, one day, we were out on a mission, and I found myself able to sleep when I was next to him. I mean actually sleep. Deeply and soundly for the first time in an entire year. Showing his presence that gave me a sense of security. It wasn't like how I remembered feeling next to my brother, strangely enough. When I woke up from this much needed rest, so many things came rushing back. Suddenly, without warning, I found myself bawling. As the tears came pouring out, chains that seal in my heart slowly began to loosen. I started feeling human again. I feel my emotions for the first time in what felt like an eternity. As soon as he saw me crying, the boy quickly came over to console me. But that just made me sob harder. Please, my new partner really was the person my brother wrote so fondly about. Blunt and a little awkward, but overly a deeply kind person, a very thoughtful partner. Despite being shackled to the organization and forced to kill for years, he had to fully surrender his humanity. He did seem to be bearing a great sorrow, one far more intense than who my brother had described. I could tell he was the kind of person capable of betraying and murdering a friend to ensure his own survival. Your brother's letter, it wasn't hard to work out what really happened. After making an escape, the two were back in the corner, and their prospects were grim. Rather than both of them killing, it was better that at least one of them survived. The only for that to happen was for one to kill the other, to gain forgiveness in the eyes of the organization. My brother knew his partner would reject the idea outright, and that even if he did accept it, he would insist on playing the part of the sacrifice. I was absolutely sure of that much. So my brother ended up feigning betrayal in order to get his partner to fight back and ultimately kill him. It's a plan that would spare his partner's life, but also deeply scar him all the way an unexpected betrayal could. From that point on, being near him was the only way I was able to feel secure enough to sleep. Sleep I did, every chance I got. Midday, during our missions, if there was even the slightest opportunity, I was out like a light. After all, I needed to catch up on the years of rest I had been robbed of. It was truly a surprising turn of events for me, to say the least. Thank you. I soon learned the boy was tormented by constant nightmares. I imagine the incident with my brother played a big role. There's so many moments where I saw he was suffering, and I wanted to know the truth, but I always stopped myself last second, telling myself the time wasn't right. My missions occasionally called for performances of a sort to deceive onlookers. He was always pretty terrible at it. It's hard to say why exactly that was, though. His movements were fine enough, as were his facial expressions. The factor emphasized all those things in his teaching, so he'd received ample instruction there. It's just that he always seemed to overdo things, or drastically underdo them. I wonder if it had something to do with the unshakable seriousness he always seemed to have about him. It'd be a real problem sometimes, even to the point where he would become more of a liability than an asset. All I got half a brain to be able to tell something was less genuine about his performances. In conclusion, he was just naturally bad at deceiving others, so I had to keep my plans for him to prevent his terrible poker face from giving us away. He had been earnestly working on escape for a very long time, and of course, I understood the immense difficulty of his task, and why he had to keep it to himself. Still, maybe if it said that he never spoke to me about it. It's a precarious position, and the organization still had its doubts about him. I was only about to do anything to put him at risk, of course, but his shaky acting alone could have very well lead the organization to seeing through his carefully laid scheme. If that happened, it would be the end of him, no question about it. The situation hadn't quite reached that point yet, but I knew it was only a matter of time before it did. After the Haldor Barn mission had wrapped up, I went to make a report. Now I had an aura unlike anything I'd ever felt. His evil monster managed the two of us, our nation's overseer, the Emperor. He was the one forcing us to kill. His face was always obscured by a robe, but it failed to mask the malice that overflowed from him. That day, he had a quiet, deadly exuberance about him, like a hawk that locked on its prey. From seeing it, I knew he'd caught on to my partner. He knew he intended to betray the organization again. I knew he'd gleefully purge him when the time came, and that time was getting closer with each passing day. If that's how things were going to be, I told myself I'd have to get ahead of them, put my own plan in motion. The Emperor's intentions were obvious. Whereas, of course, my partner and I share, he made us partners in a bid to slowly push me towards revenge. He knew I'd eventually break and sell my partner out, forcing him to go through another bitter betrayal. The Emperor was looking forward to watching it all unfold. We were both tools of the organization and the personal playthings of the Emperor's. So I told him exactly what he wanted to see. Once I finished my mission report, I told him about my partner's intent to betray the organization, and then shared my plan to lure him to a specific place where I would then eliminate him. Gave a detailed explanation, making it as enticing as possible to the Emperor. It's easy enough to gain his consent, even with his face and a scowl, he could hardly contain the excitement in his voice over the coming slaughter. The laugh they escaped through a sound so vile, it still haunts me to this day. Later that evening, my partner arrived at the designated location, the base of a hill deep in the mountains. First, he was horribly shaken by the realization he'd been betrayed again. When he learned who my brother was, though, his face changed. I watched his surprise turn to despair, which in turn shifted to absolute acceptance of his fate. To call what I saw heart-wrenching didn't do it justice. First, I went to getting the most vicious glare possible, on equal parts mocking and murderous. He had the foulest, most malicious things I could bear to say, trying to cut him to his very core. After all, the Emperor standing next to me was convincing I couldn't afford him the slightest hesitation. Step forward, I was going to eliminate him. I stood close to my partner in order to facilitate my threat attacks, or so I made it appear. True objective was to put some distance between myself and the Emperor. Once I had my threat on his neck, the battle was as good as over. There, he was enough with a flick of the finger. This is the end. Mother's worth from the bottom of my heart. A transparent cord ran through the center of the web of thread under my control. But this cord allowed me to set up a chain reaction that twisted a complex spiral shape obviously to trap foes during missions. Fully focused on watching his toys in the throes of bloody, thirsty vengeance, it was the Emperor who relaxed the guard the most. After the climax of the battle, I seized the opportunity. With perfect timing, I was ensnared the unwitting Emperor, leaving him shackled and immobile. The key was a transparent cord. It may not have had the same cutting power as steel thread, but was more than twice as strong. Even so, couldn't count on it to hold the Emperor for long. With that moment's delay, I summoned all my strength to pull on another cord. A low rumble sounded out, and a section of the rocks and hill collapsed, dropping a torrent of rubble below. Taking my time to find the perfect location, one with a brittle bedrock that I could have broken away on cue. The stones roared and tumbled in a huge way, hurtling down towards the Empire. In the middle of it all was a giant boulder more than 10 ards across. Time seemed to slow as it fell directly down at the Emperor's head, the thunder of the rocks sliding, drowning out all the other sound. Finally, it all came crashing down. It tried to look as though a catastrophic earthquake had just taken place. They were taking a direct hit from a massive boulder. There's no way he could have survived that. If he did somehow, he's not buried alive. My heart looked in confusion. Surprisingly, I just said, "S!" I cried out, finally using the name for him to call him by. Ran over to him, buried my head in his chest. This is where I felt the most safe, by his side. And I was up against him, holding him tight, never want to let him go. Never hugged him before then. I'd always been too afraid to do so. "I'm so sorry. I said those horrible things. I'm sorry I couldn't tell you the truth." So much more to explain, but those were the things I wanted to say the most. And I was still reeling from everything that happened. He was kind enough to hold me close and try to calm me down. "Nine, what in the first sentence?" Something I never predicted happened. Small of followers and boulder shifted slightly. It was going to rise up in the air. It was slow and mystical. What's happening? Dumbfounded, all he did was look on confusion. Some kind of space element? There's no way. No, that's right. Perhaps there's some kind of device that functioned the same way as an airship's anti-gravity components? I didn't understand what was happening. I just sat there, staring blankly, mind racing for explanation. Could I reach one, however I spoke? His voice teetered back. That's the Emperor's power! What that would mean? It would mean the Emperor was still alive. More and more rocks began floating upward, taking the place in the ever-increasing collection, gently bounced there. "Nine, we need to move!" I continued to sit there, absolutely lost on what to think. So we grabbed my hand and we stopped in a sprint. We were able to cover a good amount of distance before we heard what sounded like a massive explosion behind us. Trying to see boulders and the rocks of all sizes being flung out in the sky. The volcano erupting before our eyes. Chapter 7, Tears and Promises. 3 and 9 ducked into a mountain cave on the outskirts of Lucent. They had flown from the ember as fast as their legs could carry them and were now completely out of breath. As they sat together, 9 told 3 everything she had kept from up until then. Shown by Ace, about herself, the details of her plan, and finally, what Ace's true intentions were on that night 3 years ago. At the start, 3 occasionally chimed in or asked questions. With the conversation on, he fell silent. By the end, he said it was hung so that 9 couldn't see his expression. He had early confessed that his friend, his one true friend, had betrayed him, when in reality, Ace had sacrificed his life to ensure 3 would survive. And his thanks were incredibly selfless act, 3 had not only killed him, but had spent the past years despising his memory. Then came his sister, risking her life to save her brother's killer. 3 felt his chest and it was a wild mix of emotions ran through his head, threatening to overpower him. He was grateful for being fortunate enough to have 2 people in his life, Ace and 9, who he could fully trust. At the same time, he felt a bottomless well of anger burst up. Anger at himself, the excuse for a human being that he was. By his son's motion, his breathing became increasingly ragged. "Yes, are you crying?" He looked down in concern, having finished her story. She didn't need a response, however. 3's pain signs spoke volumes. "I'm fine," he said, returning to his response tone. "Is there anything I can do to make it feel better?" I asked. I said I'm fine. To his words, 3's head still hung low. "You're an awful actor, but you're even worse liar when you're not performing, you know that?" 3 sunk down on his knees. 9 moved over to him, taking his head in her hands. She began gently ruffling his hair like a mother comforting a child. "Everything's okay now. It's all okay. But I... 3 sounded, his voice growing weak and hoarse. The last bit of 3's facade broke down, overwhelmed by 9's kindness, and he relented at last. 9 was younger than 3 and definitely looked the part. But in that moment, she showed an almost motherly level of understanding and compassion. For someone like 3, who grew up without the warmth, it was the first time being comforted by someone. First time feeling the warmth of family. "I know how strong you've had to be, S. How hard it's been for so long, but it's okay now, I promise." No longer able to hold his emotions back, he finally broke down. A lifetime worth of tears came flooding out of his eyes at once. I'm such a wretched excuse for, he sobbed, no longer able to control his voice in the slightest. Hot tears poured down his cheeks, staying in the cool floor of the cave. "That's not true. You know that's not true," 9 said, softly continuing to run his fingers through her hair. "Why am I still alive? Why isn't Ace here instead?" He weakly slammed his fist against the ground in frustration. "Not another word of that. I won't hear it. Nobody's been there for me the past few years. You, S. But it's because of Ace. Listen, I need you to fight twice as hard. You're living for him, too, now. The words failed him as he was overtaken by sobbing, his years of pain and suffering pouring out of him. After some time, 3 was able to calm himself down somewhat and regain his composure. "I'm here for you, so you don't have to cry," and I told him. "If you want to, that's okay, too. So which is it?" 3 retorted, his detached demeanor creeping back. So they carried the fact he was in her arms and hurriedly pulled away, really shifting the conversation back towards exchanging information in an attempt to mask his sudden embarrassment. They finished catching up and turning attention to the current predicament. "So Rixia had me figured out. He was going to try to make a run for it. That's why you moved to strike first in order, and that's why you moved to strike first in order to outmaneuver him. Can you go, please? Go. Fungus, go." Sorry, my cat is like a hooligan. "That's right. I've been watching the whole time. We have an opportunity to take him down. She told me beforehand. Let you spoil that one surprise with your awful acting skills?" 9 gave a wry grin. "Yeah, I don't think so." 3's face crunched up a bit. Both 9 and Ember had caught up on his plan, so there's room to defend him in that regard. "I chose the one who'd be the most distracted," 9 continued, switching to serious expression. "My timing is perfect, preparation wasn't enough, but despite all that, despite everything, despite being buried in a pile of master blows, the Ember was still very much alive. No matter what she thought, 9 simply couldn't figure out how it was possible. "It's likely his power," they said. He had said the same thing earlier, right as they took off running. "What exactly is this power?" "I'm fairly certain he controlled gravity somehow," 3 said. "It's like similar when Ace and I fought him 3 years ago." 3 wrenched open a bitter, painful memory, relaying what he had remembered to 9. He and Ace had been able to fend off the first 2 pairs of assailants sent to them by the organization. Then they had come to face the Emperor. Even with the elements of surprise on their side, even when they coordinated their attacks perfectly, facing him proved exceptionally difficult. They found their bodies heavy and clumsy, and their movements lacked precision and skill. The Emperor, on the other hand, was nimble as he could be, almost inhumanely so, and the 2 were quickly overpowered. "So what do you think?" He looked at 9, noting your input. "There's no sign of him starting any cast or charging up, so I doubt he's using art," she said. Brought forward and thought. "As for a portal gravity manipulation device small enough for a single person to carry and conceal? Well, given modern technology, it's seriously hard to imagine. Find an artifact or something like it. Avalanche couldn't kill him when he has enough precise control to be able to move individual stones and boulders." And scratched out in frustration. "This sucks. We don't have a lot to go in here." She paused, thinking one more, and then continued. "In any case, as long as Major hears, he's too powerful for us, and he'd said that direct attack is going to result in our deaths." We fell silent for a moment, till 3 spoke up, a grave expression on his face. "The Titans have to choose. We're going to prioritize your life, 9. You either want to—" "Stop it!" 9 sounded an outburst of pure emotion, far more raw than herself. "The CEO too. If you time, I'm going right after you!" she shouted. "I'll do it for myself if I have to." The calm mother figure was nowhere to be found. 9 was in a frenzy now, almost like a child throwing a tantrum. Regardless of her tone, however, her words were heartfelt and honest. "Can't go back to not being able to sleep," her voice dropped to her. "Can't go back to being alone." The figure was clear to 3. Saying this, he let out a short sigh. "Give my word. No matter what happens, I'll protect you." "That's not what I'm asking for." "Okay, you're right. He said, taking a breath. Then I promise we'll survive this. We'll get through it together. I looked through with imploring, almost pleading eyes. You swear? I swear, he said. If we're getting a chance at all, we need to do everything perfectly. I said it was massive enough that despite the fact he survived it, it was hard to imagine the Empire was completely unscathed. If they tried to flee now, the organization would quickly find again, and they would have to contend with the Emperor's full strength. If I knew if they were going to make a move, now was the time. Let's do it then. Let's take them out. Chapter 8, Gravity and Artifacts. 3 and 9 returned to the hill, or miraculously, where the hill used to be. It was now completely unrecognizable. The sizable chunk of it was gone, having been strewn about the area in the form of countless bits of rubble. The Emperor stood right where they had left him, seemingly unfazed. As 3 and 9 surmised, he had seen at least some manner of injury. Nothing major, but his ever-present robe, under which he had hidden his face, had been reduced to a little more than a shredded cape. Underneath, he wore a gold helmet bearing a crown design. In his hand, he carried a golden scepter with a spherical tip, and the body was covered in golden armor. The word ostentatious was insufficient to describe his heavily gilded countenance. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know some of these words. Like, straight up. I knew you would turn. You two are complete fools after all. And I clouded him. 3 and 9 were silent until I approached. So you decided which of you two will gain the organization's forgiveness? 3 and 9 turned to each other and nodded. 3 removed his hand from his sword, leaving it sheathed. 3 knelt down and closed his eyes, showing acceptance of what was to come. In response, 9 pulled on some of her poison needles and silently launched them at 3's neck. At least, that's how she made it appear. The last second, before the needles parted from her fingers, she deftly altered the trajectory, sending speeding towards the Emperor instead. The envelope projectiles whizzed perfectly through the air as ever. However, as they needed to target, they suddenly curved downward sharp, plummeting harmlessly to the ground. Very well. He answered loud and clear, the Emperor proclaimed, looking up at the pair. You both wish to die today. Not a chance, 9 called out, throwing another volley of needle directly at the Emperor. The trajectory suddenly shifted again, this time upward. From his kneeling position, 3 quickly shifted his stance and pushed forward off the ground with all the power he could muster in his legs. He launched himself at the Emperor, breaking into a full-on charge. We've had enough. You're the one meeting their death today. 3 began slashing away at strike with incredible speed. His lightning-quick strikes grew slow and sluggish as they neared the Emperor, however. With his assailant's speed so drastically curbed, Mazzoti's golden scepter effortlessly batted aside the boy's assault. In the same instant, 9 seconds set of needles changed direction midair and began falling straight towards the Emperor. She managed to calculate the range of his gravitational field with just a single throw. When she understood its effect on projectiles, she was able to revise her trajectory. Moreover, she had factored in increased acceleration from the higher gravity, meaning her needles would hit harder than normal. Despite all that, however, her attack was neutralized by a flick of the Emperor's gilded arm. Still enough to penetrate his armor, but was, however, more than sufficient to arouse his ire. You dare defy me? Me? Livid, he swung his scepter down. 3 immediately reacted, just barely managed to block the attack with his sword. Even so, the impact alone threw him back several arch. 3 could feel his brain rattle and skull from the force of the blow. There's no way the Emperor's physical strength and weight of the scepter alone could do that. Courageously, there must have been another way he was able to manipulate gravity. You'll be purged, the Emperor said in a low growl, saying what 3 had heard him say a few hours ago and 3 years ago. When the Emperor spoke this, it was nothing less than the arboration of a death sentence. At the sound of those words, past memories bubbled up in 3's mind, and an old terror began to grip him. His legs grew wobbly and he started to stagger. One glass back and 9 was all it took for him to restore his resolve. He forced himself back on his feet, reflexively snapping into fighting stance, and 9 continued to provide covering fire with her needles as he resumed his assault. Their approach proved no more fruitful than before. Even so, as 3 continued to fight under such grueling conditions, he slowly became more capable. His understanding of his foe's gravitational trickery improved, and his strikes grew more swift and precise as a result. The way his muscles intuitively reacted, the angle and speed at which he swung his sword, he slowly took away at the Emperor's overwhelming advantage. The 3 main outfits enjoyed the same powers of insight his partner possessed. His skills in close quarter combat were elite even by the most exacting of standards. For her part, Nine's cover was solid and unwavering. Realizing her needles had no hope of piercing the Emperor's golden plating, she instead began aiming for gaps between his pieces. It was an incredibly difficult task, but as she grew more accustomed to the disrupting effects of the gravitational field, she was gradually getting closer. She began weaving an offensive arch along with her volleys of needles, in order to keep the Emperor on his toes. Her attacks seemed simple enough for a foe to deal with, but they still managed to pull his attention away from 3, if only for a moment. The fight raged on, and after a bit of time, 3 and 9 and P.T.1 finally began gaining the upper hand. Yet the Emperor did not seem fazed in the slightest. His expression was unreadable beneath the shadows of his helmet, but it was clear from his body that he still believed himself fully in control of the situation. So he managed to land the occasional strike, but even his words seemed to do little against the Empire's impossibly resilient armor. In an attempt to land a heavier blow, he launched himself in the air, intending to let the gravity carry his swords downward as the 9's needles had. However, he found himself soaring up higher than he intended, impossibly so, as though he had suddenly spread wings. His mark completely missed. He lost his sense of balance and began tumbling through the air. Quickly realized it could have only been due to more of his foe's trickery. Reduced gravity, expertly seizing up opening. The Emperor raised his scepter overhead, then swiftly swung it downwards. As if mimicking the motion, 3 suddenly dropped out of the air, thrown to the hard ground like a rag doll. Ugh! The air knocked out his lungs. He struggled to catch his breath, spitting up mouthfuls of blood between gasps. Get out of the way, he's not done! Save 9's frantic whirring, they just barely managed to roll all the way. A split second later, he had scepter slammed down the ground where he had just been. So gravity-enhanced scepter connected with the rocky ground below, let out power blast, leaving a crater in its wake. S! The resulting shockwave launched through to the side, knocking him to relative safety. Had he taken a direct hit, he would have been completely pulverized. Though dazed, he was still aware enough to signal to 9 that he was okay. He forced himself to his feet. The battle had completely changed. The Emperor began manipulating gravity levels on a constant cycle, and 3 was forced into defensive position. Whenever he managed to get a handle on his foe broad attacks, he found the gravity level altered yet again, forcing him to start back at 0. It's impossible to fight in such ever-changing conditions. The situation was taxing for Nana as well. Found himself forced to constantly recalculate the field's range and gravity value, severely reducing the number of effective attacks she was able to launch. Despite their bleak outlook, the two then continued to hold out. Even pressured, 3 served as an excellent vanguard, consistently dying the Emperor any opportunities for decisive strike. 9, meanwhile, continued to back him up flawlessly, acting with surgical precision that ensured no opening went to waste. S! She got on her left back, putting some distance between himself and the Emperor. They can figure something out. Let's hear it. Goddammit. 3 waited for it to continue, keeping his guard up and watching closely for any side attack from the Emperor. Have you noticed anything different when you and Ace fought before? Was he carrying anything in his left hand back then? 3 glasses filled his left hand, singing empty. He thought back to 3 days ago. How you mentioned him? We should have an orb with him. Purple, with a golden sculpture of a crow on it. That battle back then was completely one-sided. Just as I suspected, 9 nodded. 3 also thought something was different, but simply chalked up the Emperor toying with them. Jeez. As he didn't consider them to be a true threat to him. Factoring in what 9 had just pointed out over, casting as much light. Oh, so you've realized. There are pauses on slot, so recognition of 9's keen observation. You see the implements he has on now? Expect at one point he had 4 different artifacts letting him control gravity. 4, huh? She said, taking note of the Emperor's equipment. Right. A helmet with a crown motif that can increase or reduce the overall level of gravity. Armor that absorbs the force imparted by attacks in the moment they are received. A scepter that sends out a devastating gravitational wave when it makes contact with its target. And an orb with a crow perch that allows the wheel to alter gravity on a target-by-target basis. 9 paused explanation for a moment as she looked defiantly at the Emperor. The reason he'd worn the target cloak was not clear. Someone to wield so many artifacts once he did, be necessarily to conceal them. Though they do so would surely attract unwanted attention from the church. Now that you mention it, Sarah, he has been moving faster while slowing us down at the same time. 3 said, well, before, couldn't even touch him. It's true that in the fighting against him, 3 and Ace have been struggling under different levels of gravity than the Emperor. There's no doubt he was toying with them in the present. At the very least, both sides are battling the same level of gravity, constantly shifting though they were. As such, the pair's odds of winning were much better this time around. I think he had lost out somewhat or destroyed, at least damage on the rock side, 9 explained. Panic realized that they were true, and now was the best chance to take them once and for all. A talented tool indeed. Nora's voice was low, tinged with a hint of perverse delight. The artifacts I wear are collected known as Monarch's Regalia. I'm impressed you were able to analyze your capabilities in such a limited time. You dinosaurs are truly outstanding. I don't want you to praise, you freak. Ignoring 9's retort, the Emperor continued on, his exhilaration giving way to a violent savagery. Even the greatest tool is worse if it not submit to its rightful place in my hands. His body again levitating, broken chunks of earth underfoot rising upward with him. With all the force he could muster, he swung a scepter into a nearby boulder, where those tools must be disposed of. In that instant, the boulder shattered into shards of all shape and sizes that were rocketing towards 9. Watch out! 3 cried out. Shards flew like a salvo of bullets from 1,000 different guns, all of them pointed directly at one target. It was a grim sight, not unlike a single soldier standing before the assault of an entire army. Panicked, 3 rushed into the line of fire. He brandished his swords and did everything he could to prevent the shards from reaching 9. He deflected and broke what he could, using his body as a shield for the rest. There was one considerable distance between him and 9, one he could not cover easily. When he had left in the way, great many shards were already too far ahead. The 3 was too late. 9 no realistic chance of avoiding the entirety of the attack. Instead, devoted her force to simply avoiding the worst or the pieces of stone flying at her. There were far too many, however, and one managed to slip through her defenses. She suffered a direct hit to the abdomen, and a red mist sprayed from the mouth as she crumpled to the earth. Chapter 9. Anger and Analysis. 9! 3 ran over to her, his voice hoarse with agony and grief. His forehead, hands, legs, her entire body was stained with blood, dripping from 1,000 scratches and cuts. It was a fate far too cruel for such a young girl. How many times 3 called out to her? She didn't respond. He had sworn to protect her. He promised himself, promised her, but now, he himself overcome by shame and regret. Too weak to himself, too weak to help anyone, too weak to save anyone. As if to seize upon his distress, the Emperor spoke once more. So one of you made it, and be wise and stop this here. Deliver the final one and be spared, just as you did before. At those words, 3 felt a creaking in his mind. It was harsh, like the sound of a metal scraping against metal. Surely a girl like her would derive a warped satisfaction from being killed by the same man who took her brother. The Emperor's mouth twisted into a reverse smile. The pride in his eyes clear even the shadow cast by his helmet. As if that something snapped inside of 3. Die! He exploded as if the boundless rage coursing through his veins had at last found an outlet. His leg and arm snapped into operation. Primal rumble forced from his throat, his bones shrieked, his blood boiled. Pure fury ignited his entire body, inciting its action. Before he knew it, he launched himself at the Emperor. He unleashed a whirlwind of attacks, his strikes faster and more powerful than ever before. The Emperor met the charge head-on, altering gravity as he went, but 3 adapted each shift almost as fast as they came. His body was running on pure instinct, honing his senses to a razor-sharp edge and giving him almost preternatural adaptability. The Emperor, on the other hand, found himself working harder and harder to handle 3's hail of blows. He managed to block the oncoming strikes, but his attacker showed no sign of slowing down. Like a wild dog, the Emperor sneered, a tool with a will of its own. The will of its own is a useless thing, to be sure, but seeing you foaming his mouth like this is pathetic beyond measure. Surely fated to die as you lived. A mere thing! Even in the face of 3's enraged onslaught, the Emperor had hardly taken any damage at all. He still held all the cards. There was little more than annoyance, like a flea biting a wolf. 3's thoughts bubbled back to the surface. He found some remembering something None had said. His natural sense of composure that allowed him to recall such a timely memory. Composure he did not possess 3 years ago. He still let his anger drive his body, but maintained a calm mind, not allowing his thoughts to slip away in his rage. He could have stopped himself at any time, but he found his rage beneficial and wielded it ably, as it was simply another weapon available to him. 3 himself was unaware of this. With such an ability to control one's emotions, which on their power was rare indeed, as the skill did not come easily even to the greatest warriors. Yet, 3 had managed to master such a complicated concept at his young age. Trauma. Armor that absorbs the force imparted by attacks the moment they received. That's how Nadia described the Emperor's armor. Sure, just described, when I strikes 3 launch, the things seemed to get through. So then realization done on. The armor was immune to external force. What he needed to do was induce internal force. How is he going to do that? Anyone else may give it up at this point, but 3 could scarcely imagine a more suitable target for his skills. He combined his blades into one, squaring up against the Emperor yet again. The defining characteristic of 3's weapons was the ability to internally induce an arbitrary explosion on the target. That explains his marking. To do so, he needed to strike the same point with each blade separately, and then the third time in their fused form. Oh. By this point, he'd already landed a number of hits on the Emperor's armor, and luckily for 3, he seen one of those hits overlapped. Armor was the final step in the process, making contact with this intersecting points using his fused sword. 3 attacked the Emperor with the same rage and power as before. This time, though, he failed to land a single hit, just a hair's breadth off every single time. The first steps of his weapons processes were relatively simple. He simply needed to land a strike with each weapon, creating 2 perpendicular lines would paint a target for the orbment. The next part, however, was far more difficult. He used a fused blade to hit the precise point where the 2 lines intersected. This was a much smaller target area, making the task that much more demanding. Still, 3 was confident in his aim, and knew that he had the dexterity to pull it off. In spite of his skill and confidence, however, he until he found himself failing to land a decisive hit. The Emperor cackled him as he watched 3 struggle. To him, 3's plight was nothing short of pure comedy. I know my tools inside and out, he said, a dark grin sprang on his face. Your method of attack, how your weapons work, I actually think even better than you. As to prove the Emperor's point, 3's next attack fell short as well. The Emperor launched a counterattack with the staff, swung at the perfect angle. 3 had figured out his foe's tricks. For which attack he would land, the Emperor would make a subtle change to gravity. His timing was exquisite, and the trick was executed in such a way that 3 had no time to correct the angle of his sword. Further, the gravity wave emitted by the Emperor's scepter did nothing at all when it failed to connect, but if it did, resulting damage would be enormous. Thus far, 3 had been able to evade or turn away each incoming swing, but it was only because the Emperor was allowing it. He had yet to land a single effective attack, and the wear of both his weapons and his own body was steadily mounting. The outcome of the battle seemed clear, and by all appearances, there was nothing that could change its course. Thanks to his impeccable defense, the Emperor was nearly unscathed, whereas 3 was barely holding on, looking more and more like he could collapse at any moment. Between clashes, a momentarily calm center of the battlefield, 3 was weighing his options, a voice broke the silence. It was a lazy drawl, one that 3 had heard many times over the past year. Analysis complete. Natural defeat, looking as though she could fall back down in a moment. How? Juna shocked to his mouth in a low hiss. 9, you're okay! Once you understood what happened, 9 didn't fall unconscious. She simply feigned doing so in order to analyze the Emperor in secret. I don't know why I keep on calling Empire. She had given 3 no indication of plan whatsoever. After all, had she done so, the Emperor may very well have caught into her plan. Just fine. He's not dead to cushion the blow of the boulders by shredding them into smaller pieces. In the end, rocks barely scratched me. The amount of blood that covered it, but clearly I knew this was far from the truth. But the fact remained that she was both alive and conscious. He disengaged the Emperor and moved closer to 9, making sure to keep his eyes trained on his phone as he did so. There's a moment where he's unable to find anything, Swin. That's his power's fatal weakness. What do you mean? His gravitational manipulation doesn't require casting like an art would, but after he uses it, there's a period of time, about a second, before he's able to use it again. So he wasn't able to immediately prevent the falling rocks from burying him earlier. So he's changing gravity so precise, 3 said, thinking back on the battle. How could he have managed that? He was just reading your movement, S. He knows he fight like the back of his hand. Wait, what? 3 exclaimed, the surprise in his voice clear. It's true. 9 responded. The way he manipulates gravity is determined before you even start your swings. He knows you won't have to try to predict everything you'll do. Is that even possible? Asked 3, his mind racing. Sure is, and I continue. He's not just using an artifact for either. His mind just works that quickly. He's a total monster through and through. The Emperor let out a low chuckle. A sound analysis will avail you nothing. On your techniques inside and out, the same speed, the same power, the same angles, each and every time. There's possible you can overdo years of habits we so painstakingly carved into you. S, not like them knowing. Right. Let's end this. The duo, down in agreement, turned to face the Emperor once more. We charged him, renewing his previous assault. He raised his sword overhead, attacking at a high angle. The Emperor dodged it effortlessly and sent forth a counterattack. The deadly dance continued as before, but as things were, both sides knew where it ultimately lead. The Emperor sensed an incoming attack and prepared to manipulate gravity. Which was rejected, so he attacked a half step faster, aiming for one of the spots in his armor than previously marked. As the sword raced down his target, gravity shifted, the sword's trajectory is altered. Besides this, it somewhat continued its original path, as its altered gravity had been predicted and compensated for. Impossible, the Emperor muttered in his breath. He hastily jerked his body out of the blade's trajectory with hardly a second to spare. These movements had changed somehow. As the Emperor mulled the changing situation over, his next attack came speeding in. The Emperor again predicted the speed and trajectory and immediately guided accordingly. However, boom! A muffled explosion rang out, and the Emperor felt his armor crack and pain go through his left arm. Boom! What? Another flash. Boom! His right leg was now damaged as well. The Emperor was at an utter loss. Had 3 managed to correctly predict his spatial manipulation? How was he suddenly able to alter his strike to compensate for gravity? Had the analyzer been analyzed himself? Cursing 3's name, the Emperor's thoughts grew frantic. As he desperately looked around for a clue, he realized what was happening. He felt a number of barely visible cords extending from 3's body. Naturally, 9 stood at the other end, controlling them. She wasn't pulling him to and fro like a marionette, but was instead nudging his attack slightly, guiding his direction, timing an angle to create the perfect strike. The Emperor may have been predicting 3's attacks making justice, but 9 was doing the same to him in turn. It was her guidance that allowed 3 to score direct hit after direct hit. Her superior intellect was, of course, a major reason why this was possible, but her relationship with 3 was their true secret weapon. They knew each other better than anyone in the world, which allowed her to predict his reactions and movements with incredible accuracy. She was a natural understanding of her partner to help him adapt his combat style to fit the situation at hand. In that sense, the secret behind the upper hand they had suddenly gained was as simple as could be. "You little wench!" the Emperor let out an in-range growl laced with bitter hatred. Neither 3 nor 9 had ever seemed like this before. He tried to launch the same rocky onslaught at 9 that they had before, but himself bereft of munitions. He could not be sure when it happened, but at some point, the duo had led him to a different part of the area, one where he could no longer weaponize the terrain. With furious bloodlust, he lowered the gravity and rushed at 9. Finally, I've been waiting. A giant boulder appeared in the air above the Emperor, likely due to art 9 had cast. The Emperor was unimpressed, however, at being subjected to the same attack twice. Surround, and even lacked the element of surprise. He easily shattered the incoming boulder with his staff once it entered the air and reduced gravity. It was the flippant display of arrogance that sealed his fate. As pieces of boulder rained down around him, he found some face-to-face with plush toy. Rabbit. What had been hidden with the boulder? No, he exclaimed, following no, it was no mere toy. Judging him too clever, with a massive bang, the rabbit detonated. Light and heat washed over the Emperor, and his legs buckled under the force. Just then, an explosion went off in his back. 3 landed a solid hit in his chest armor, and resulting blown it clear off his body. This is the end, 3 said quietly. Black-hearted birds had been destroyed, and 3's blade had found its bloody mark. Final chapter, guys. The Emperor had fallen to his knees. Chapter 10, Essendon. The Emperor had fallen to his knees. 3 sword protruding from his chest. He looked at the sky and gave a dry, bitter laugh. Found some humor in your hand, have you? Asked 3. I think you 2 would best me, the Emperor said, his voice weak. I admit it. I underestimated you. You are, by far, the most matchless who's ever had the pleasure of owning. Enough! We're not your tools any longer, 3 said, grabbing a sword for himself to silence the Emperor forever. So that stuff, the moment to kill, had come yet again. Thing he hated most, thing he would never grow accustomed to. Things were different this time. Giving that man so as humanity in the first place. That's at the end of the sword. That didn't stop 3's hand from trembling. S, Knight said gently, moving closer. We'll do it together, okay? Her typically light, relaxed expression was now serious and sincere. Okay, 3 responded. This is it. The moment the 2 would put their tragic past to rest. 9 placed her hands on 3's, setting his weapon. Her warmth debated his trembling ever so slightly. They would raise the sword together. In response, Emperor spoke once more. Every arduous path the sword is stained with blood. Just the rest of your life shall be. Fates are immutable. Kill or be killed. Control or be controlled. You are no different than I. We will ever be one and the same. You're wrong. We're no longer anyone's tools, and we'll never force anyone to be ours. After this, we're done, said the last person we're ever going to kill. As he took a deep breath and spoke, he said, farewell. Off in some far-flung region of Calvert, a horse-drawn carriage plodded along. Aside from trains, most terrestrial transportation had long switched to orbital cars, so such an old-fashioned mode of travel was a rare sight to see. The more rustic method did have its certain undeniable charm, however. A boy drove the carriage, while a young girl of about the same age lazed about with him. Makes me wonder how he got away, the boy said, thinking back to the Emperor's face. One thing had been obscured by both cloak and helmet. His appearance had been a poor fit for his monstrous behavior. If anything, he'd been rather handsome. Well, if you don't mind rumors and hearsay, I have an answer for 2. The girl's response came within the carriage, delivered an usual sweet job. I'm listening. Well, the girl's story went something like this. In a small country in some part of the world, there was once lived a vile, oppressive king. His reign was tyrannical, his rule evil, and his people lived in fear. One day, he died, and his son, the crown prince, was enthroned. The prince, this new king, was, at his core, kind and gentle, who strove to govern in a fair and just manner. He determined to avoid his father's errors, but perhaps they're too accustomed to fear, though one met this new king's idea with an open mind. Free assembly and speech had already been brutally suppressed during his father's reign, and the people's rage had already reached a boiling point. Violent voices grew louder and louder, eventually resulting in a revolution. The revolutionary army launched an assault on the royal palace and forcibly converted the country into a republic, holding the king accountable for his father's sins. Suddenly, Ryan's left he had no choice but to flee, leaving his country as entire way of life. He saw his Frenchman became an overseer? The boy asked, his brow wrinkling and thought he was turned the story over and said, who can say? I don't know if a king like that even existed in the first place. Wait, what? So they're saying that the Emperor was a king? Oh, the prince who was against him eventually turned into a king. Okay. So the prince eventually became overseer of the boy, his brow wrinkling thought as soon as the story said, "Who can say? I don't know if a king like that exists in the first place." The girl rolled over to continue dozing as the carriage bumped and bounded its way along the road. So it's more fact than fiction, then what? The boy asked. He was too kind to lost control of his kingdom, so he developed power to desire to control others? Hard to believe. The boy shut up. He had no intention of getting overseer even a shred of sympathy. But sure enough, he did find something, a little pity for the man. The boy and girl felt silent for a minute. The only sounds I could hear were the clopping of the horse's hooves and the creaking of the carriage. The boy was saying, "What is it?" The girl always heard from that. The voice remained as lax as ever, but the boy showed some good sense. "Is there any chance you could ever forgive me for what I did between me and your brother?" "No." The response was swift and blunt. The boy fell silent. He had no right to scorn her answer. "Never," she did, "because he was my brother, and I loved him. It's the only family I had, so... The girl paused for a moment. She flushed red, and she continued in a much louder voice. "So, if you want me to forgive you, can't ever leave me. We need to stick together through thick and thin. You and me, in an S." The boy smiled, his fear a moment ago having left him. "Of course, we'll always be there for each other. I'll have your back, and you'll have mine." The girl barely contained the emotion swelling in her chest at this point. Fortunately for her, the boy continued talking. "Do my best to fill those shoes from now on. Including making sure you get the education you need to grow into the best person you can be." This was, in fact, not the answer the girl had been looking for. "I'm not talking about education," she exclaimed as she started violently shaking the carriage in frustration. "What could be more important? Hey, calm down. This thing can't take too much abuse. It's risky enough it is. If we get fall apart, we'll have to walk the rest of the way." The girl sat back down, still not fully satisfied with the response, resolved to leave things for a moment. So I changed again. "So any ideas?" For the time being, her plan was to head to Liberl or Mon, just as the boy initially planned. But where to from there? They had yet to give it much thought. They knew they'd be pursued by any number of people from the organization. Despite this, the two knew that as long as they stuck together, they'd find a way to manage. For the moment, they reveled in the idea of an unknown future, a new path to tread that was all their own. "I guess when we find something to work," the boy said. "Anything in mind?" "Well," he used a common smile on his face. "When you guys are so, how about something in theater?" "Not in your life," the girl said. "Think about us. You are a terrible actor." "Hey, I'm not that bad. Sure, play would be way less special than an assassination mission." His head deflated, the boy sank back into his seat. Went through another idea. "Wouldn't someone more puzzled than us?" "I know. How we become racers?" "No way." The girl rejected the idea again, with a bit less bite than before. "I think it's super busy. No sense of skipping one grade just to work yourself in another." There's also the question hanging over there, whether the race girl even consider taking on the people with the duo's unique background. All things considered, however, wasn't the most outlandish idea. Fine. What's your idea then?" "Me? All I do is lay around in bed every day, just sleep. "Ridiculous," the boy said. Face a little suddenly remember. "Right. What is it?" "Names," he said in that. "Shows you haven't shared real names with each other." "Oh, right. And it's short for Nadia, that's her real name. And Swin." The girl said. So, this wasn't too hard then. Pretty crazy coincidence." The reason her nickname for him had been so close to her real name. Barely mentioned it was letters. She had known Swin's name before it passed it across. So they worked together for a bit. She doesn't want to call him by something that resembles his actual name, by his designation moniker. However, was something she intended to keep to herself. "Well then, you always be yes to me. Always been to you, right?" "Yeah, you're right." The carriage continued to slow its roll forward, as did the conversation. It was profound in moments. But I was silly, lighthearted, most of all, free. The boy's name was Swin, S. The girl's name was Nadia, and together they were travelers, discovering their newfound humanity. So sweet. I love that. So, I'm gonna wrap that up for this episode because it's probably going for like way too fucking long. Even though I kind of thought we'd get through more, but apparently not. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. My schedule's posted in the description below, as well as all my socials are linked in my bio. So you can follow me on pretty much any platform. Thank you for watching yet again. I do this next video over my channel. Okay, bye.